Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty.
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, welcome to another episode of Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. I am your host. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, welcome to another episode of Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. I am your host, Manager Marty, and I am excited to be here this evening. To all my West Coast audience, I'm excited to be here this afternoon. To all of the audience outside of America, in another country, I'm excited to be here this morning. We're going to have a great show today. We're going to talk about the sport of boxing, of course, but the business of boxing. And I'm so excited about it. Let me do an audio check real quick. Salute to everybody that's in the chat. Salute to everyone acknowledging me in the chat. I want to welcome each and every last one of you who are here live and live in color, who donated your time and invested your resources to be here. I want to say thank you. Quick question. Can you all hear me loud and clear? I just want to make sure I do an audio check. Can you all hear me? I'm using my laptop again. You know, usually I use the computer. Usually I use the camera with the microphone. Usually I'll use the phone. I'm trying to make sure that I enhance the visual and audio quality for each and every last one of you to the best of my ability. So I want to make sure you all can hear me. I want to make sure the visual is there. I want to make sure you all get the quality that y'all need live and live in color. So I want to make sure you all can hear me. Somebody in the chat said that they can hear me. All right, good. That's what I want to hear. That's exactly what I want to hear. All right, good. All right, now here's the thing. I know that all around the YouTube boxing community, all around the YouTube streets, we all been seeing, we all been hearing, people been talking about it. That is the tweet from Shakur Stevenson. Yeah, we seen it. We seen it now. Yeah, everybody's talking about it all over YouTube, right? So we're going to address it here today. But before we do, I want to welcome each and every last one of my viewers who are joining us on the replay of this live. I welcome you as well. Everybody that's here, if you can, please jab, hook, uppercut, cross, tap the like button if you can. The reason why I say that now is because once you do that, you help force YouTube to push out the algorithm, okay? So that the education and entertainment that I produce on this channel will reverberate all across the world. If you haven't done so already, please be a part of the Roll the Tape Film Crew by subscribing to the channel, and make sure you click on that icon. And when you click that icon, I'm talking about the bell icon. When you click on that, after you subscribe, and if you haven't done so already and you already subscribed, you can do so now. Click on all. So when you click on subscribe, right, there's a bell icon that comes up, and it's going to ask you all personalized. I forgot the third option, but anyway, you want all notifications to come to you, the Roll the Tape Film Crew member, so that you won't miss any of the content that I produce, and you won't miss the live notifications. All right. I want to salute, since I'm talking about the Roll the Tape Film Crew membership, I want to salute a member of the channel. He's here, live in living color. Jeremy Austin. Double salute to you, Jeremy. He's also a supervisor of the Roll the Tape Film Crew. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. That's one of the perks that you get when you become a member of, not just the become a member of the channel, but also a supervisor of the Roll the Tape Film Crew. Trying something different with the visual. Yeah, we're gonna talk some boxing today. Oh man, I'm excited about it. Ooh wee! The chat already lighting up. I see what's going on in the chat. I see it. I see what's going on. Yeah, I see exactly what's going on. I'm gonna give you what you want. Yeah. I'm gonna give you what you asked for. That's what I'm gonna give you. I always do. That's what I do. I make sure I entertain everybody. Yeah, and I'm excited about it today. I'm definitely going to drop the link in the chat. Oh, yes. Open panel season. I'm going to fly the kite in the chat. You already know how I do. We're going to put a panel up here because I want to hear what you have to say about the topics that we're going to discuss. There's a few topics we're going to discuss today. I'm just glad that you all are here. And we need answers. Yeah, we need answers. So I'm glad that you all are here. Hold on for a second. Let me see something. Yeah, let me see what we're going to do. Yeah. Now, listen now. We got to do this now, and we got to do this the right way. We have to. And I'm talking about our Town Watch check-in. All right? We're not going to take long with it. I want us to get right on to the show. I'm not going to hold y'all long. Y'all know how it is in the middle of the week over here. I know how it is. Yeah, y'all know exactly how it is. But we come in full force, no excuses. But we got to do our Town Watch check-in because the air fryer, I just turned the air fryer on. And the air fryer is slowly warming up. So this is our icebreaker. If you're new to the channel, if this is your first time watching the broadcast, if you are watching a replay of this live, and you don't know what our Town Watch check-in is, I'm going to share it with you right now. I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of it. It's very simple. All right. It's just our way to be able to set the foundation in the beginning of the live broadcast, right? It's to set the foundation that even though we have different geographical locations that we represent, right? It's a foreshadow of us having different opinions, different points of views, and different perspectives on the topics that we're going to discuss in this broadcast. So what we do is we insert our geographical locations, whether where you are born and raised, where you are from, and or where you are located now, by way of city, state, island, and or country. And then I will publicly acknowledge what you insert in the chat to represent your geographical location in exchange for you putting it in the chat. And then obviously by the end of this broadcast today, rhetorically, We all can agree to one thing. This is why we do the Town Watch check-in. We agree to one thing, rhetorically, that even though we share different opinions, different perspectives, different points of views, guess what? We all share one thing in common, and that is our love for the sport of boxing. Y'all ready? All right, I'm gonna start it off. Y'all know how we do. If you are a returning viewer, you may always participate in the chat right now so we can be an example to those that are new to the channel. Also, if you are watching the replay of this live, you can equally participate by going in the comments section below, acknowledging where you are from, where you were born and or raised, or where you're located now. And when I see it, when I read the comments, I will publicly acknowledge. Fair enough? All right, let's get it in. Let's let the air fryer, come on now, let's let the air fryer warm up properly now. Because this is our icebreaker. This is how the energy levels start increasing, and this is how the viewership also increases exponentially. Y'all ready? I'm gonna be a good leader and start it off first. I'm representing the DFW area. Yeah, to be a little bit more specific, Arlington, Texas. We here. Mansfield section of Arlington, Texas. Tarrant County, we in the building. But I can't just leave it there because I got to give some public acknowledgement to my hometown where I'm born and raised from. I'm talking about the city of brotherly love, the great city of Philadelphia. I'm not talking about the Philadelphia in the state of Mississippi. Some of y'all didn't even know it was a Philadelphia in the state of Mississippi. But see, you learned something early on in the broadcast. I'm talking about the city of Philadelphia that's located in the state of Pennsylvania. We call it Philly. We in the building. Who else we got in? Come on, let's check on in. Who else we got here? Let's check in. We got to check in. Who else we got in here? Oh, come on, man. I know who we got in here. I know the city and state we have in here now. It's the city and state that I can't wait to visit. Yeah, you know, people tell me I'm most wanted. Yeah, that's what they tell me. They say, man, Jamarty, you have a target on your back, and there's a picture somewhere in this city that says most wanted with your face on it. And I'm talking about the city of Omaha. Omaha, Nebraska. I salute you, Omaha. I love everybody in Omaha, Nebraska. Salute to you. I can't wait to go to Omaha, Nebraska to come show y'all some love, and y'all can show me some love back. Who else we got in the building? Ohio just pulled up in the parking lot and just walked in the building. I see you. Mobile is up in this joint. Come on, let's check on in, y'all. Come on, listen, the air fryer is warming up. Let's check on in. King William, Virginia is in the building. I see you. Yeah, who else we got in here? Ooh, I know it's cold up there. Upstate New York, in Albany, New York. Albany, New York just pulled up in the parking lot and walked right in the spot. Who else we got in here? Come on, y'all, let's check on in. Let me ask you a question real quick. Let me ask you a question. Is Brooklyn in the house? Where Brooklyn at? Well, I guess that was two questions. Okay, is Brooklyn in the house? Where's Brooklyn at? Right here in the chat. Brooklyn, New York. In the building, I see you. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. Where else? Where we at? Where we at? Huh? Let me ask you another question. Where Harlem at? Harlem on the rise. Yeah. Harlem on the rise. Harlem, New York. In the building, I see you. Oh, it don't stop there. Listen, New York all up in the building. Queens, New York City just pulled up in the parking lot and walked right in the building. I see you. Salute. Who else we got? Come on, man. What? Y'all think we just gonna stay on the East Coast? Absolutely not. We got people all across the world that come and support this channel. And listen, I'll start it off right now. Arkansas. Yeah. Arkansas just stepped in the building. I see you. Chucktown, South Carolina is in the building. I see you. Come on, y'all. Let's check on in. Woo-wee. Wichita, Kansas is also in the building. I see you. Come on, Lord, let's check on in. Let me jump back on the East Coast real quick. Baltimore, Maryland, pulled right all up in the parking spot and said, you know what? Even though the Ravens are not going to the Super Bowl, we on the Roller Tape podcast with Manager Marty. That's what matters today. And the Baltimore Ravens still a good team now. And Baltimore just stepped in the building. I see, oh my gosh, is that the wind blowing? It has to be. Man, I'm about to go put me another long sleeve shirt on, another hoodie, and a pair of gloves, a skelly, and a coat. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I just felt the wind blow. Yeah, you know why? Because the Windy City is here. And I'm talking about the city of Chicago. Chicago in the building. Come on and let's check in. Alexandria, Louisiana is up in this thing. Come on, man. We got people all over the world that come and support this thing here. Huh? Y'all saw the movie New Jack City? This thing bigger than Nino Brown. Yeah. Columbus, capital city, in the building. Columbus, Ohio, salute. Oh, we're going to get on with the show. But we got to make sure that the heat is here. Yeah, it might be cold in your city, but the heat is here. It might even be hot in your city because you might be in the desert. That's the reason why I say the desert, because Phoenix, Arizona just walked in the building. Yeah, they up in here. Oh, yes, indeed, they here. Yeah. Milwaukee, ooh, got people all around the world that come and support this thing here. This thing bigger than Nino Brown. Salute to Milwaukee, I see you. Man, DC just pulled up in the parking spot. I knew it was DC the way the Cadillac just parallel parked in that parking spot. I see you. DC just jumped in the building. I see you. Ooh, come on, let's check on in now. There's people from all across the world. You won't find the Town Watch check-in nowhere else on YouTube. But you got it right here. Man, this air fryer warming up now. I get my energy when I see y'all. That's it. We don't got nobody else checking. Y'all sure this is it? Can I get one more check-in before we start this? I need one more. Before we start the show, I need one more. That's all I need. I got the hottest chat on YouTube. Huh? I got the best moderators on YouTube. What? Come on, man. Who else is in here? Can I get one more check-in? People all across the world support Manager Marty and the Roller Tape Film Crew and the Roller Tape Podcast. What? Y'all tripping, think we're going to stop. They told me that after July the 29th, that my channel would never exist anymore. That's what people were saying in the buildup of the Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence fight. Can y'all believe that? That's what they told me. And then July 29th happened. And then after July 29th happened, then they still got these predictions of this channel. This is my response to them. When you got the hottest chat on YouTube, that's impossible. When you got the best moderators on YouTube, that's impossible. When you got the hottest logo on YouTube, that's impossible. When you got the best intro on YouTube, that's impossible. When you got the best supporters, known as the Roller Tape Film Crew, man, that theory is impossible. We got the Virgin Islands in this building. It ain't just about city and states in America. People all over the world support this channel. Virgin Islands, I see you. Who else we got? Can I get one more? I promise y'all I'm going to take one more. Let me say it because I want to make sure I can relate to all people. Can I get one more? Yeah, that's for all my down south. That's for all my down south audience. Can we get one more? Can I get one more check-in? Where the East Coast at? Can I get one more? One more, just one. Can I get one more check-in? Any city, state, island, and or country, just drop it in the chat. We got to get this show on the road now. Woo! Member of the channel, supervisor of the Roller Tape Film Crew. The first member of the channel. Huh? One of the biggest supporters of all time. I'm talking about Mr. Pragmatic. I just said something about the South, didn't I? Metro Atlanta, Georgia is in the building. I see you. We got to get this show on. I don't know what y'all talking about. Huh? Y'all can tell I'm excited today, right? You see, one thing about it is this. The thing that makes me excited, right? My mom always told me this since I was a little kid. Let me tell you what she told me, because she told me a lot of stuff. Let me tell you what she told me. She said, Marty, wherever you go, take you with you. Listen to me, y'all. This 30 years ago. This 30 to 30 some years ago. Wherever you go, take you with you. And when you take you with you, don't be a follower, be a leader, because it's in you. That my mama told me that 30 years ago. And you know, y'all, hey, listen, my mom was right, because I like to be unique in everything that I do. I like being a leader. And what I mean by that is this. This is just synonymous of what we're talking about in boxing. Let me bring it all back home. Or somebody be in the comment section when this thing is over talking about, you talk about, you know what they be saying about me, right? The reason why I'm saying that to make it relevant is this. Most people, 99.999% of the people on YouTube all week for the last 24 hours, what we been here? Shakur Stevenson going to retire. Shakur Stevenson about to retire. All over the YouTube, all over Twitter, all over the internet. Shakur Stevenson is going to retire. He's retiring from the sport of boxing. Well, I got news for you. I'm going to be the only one on YouTube, whether I got to stand alone, to tell you right now, Shakur Stevenson is not retiring from boxing. Yeah, I said it. Shakur Stevenson is not retiring from boxing. What's wrong with y'all listening to all this kind of stuff? Where y'all get this information? Oh, Shakur Stevenson. Oh, that's where y'all get the information from. Oh, I see what's going on. Shakur Stevenson tweeted that. Oh, yeah, Shakur Stevenson tweeted that, man, Jamarty. Yeah, they said Shakur done said these words on your screen right here. That was Shakur said in that tweet, huh? Philly in the building. My cousin just walked in here. You know, my cousin, I got to say this because I love him. My cousin is the one, and man, I don't know if he told me this 10 years ago or not, but it was a long time ago. He said, cuz you are the king of controversy. And ever since he said it, it just stuck with me. Salute to my family, Isaiah, in the building. Now, this was Shakur said, right? Yeah, hey, Andre, y'all cutting me off, man. Listen, I love y'all. Hey, Andre, you know I had to go get it. You know I had to go and get it. They call me Mac Marty on YouTube. So I got to create a segment for the ladies now, Mr. Pragmatic. You know, hey, I got to be smooth with the ladies, so I got to make sure I'm right. Now, Shakur Stevenson said this on Twitter, right? Or X. It's called X, formerly known as Twitter, right? That's what they said. They said Shakur said this. So we're going to use that because I believe this is a tweet from Shakur Stevenson. I am not saying that this is not a tweet from Shakur. Don't misinterpret me, please. Hear me out for a second. This is a tweet from Shakur Stevens. And I want to read it for those that didn't get an opportunity to see it. For those of you that cannot read it right now, because we have a lot of people that drive home from work. We have a lot of people that might be still at work. We have a lot of people that be in the house or at the boxing gym or in the regular gym working out. And sometimes they are not viewing what's on your screen, but they can still hear me, right? So that's why I just wanted to put it out there so everybody can know when I read stuff on the screen, it might not be for you all that's still watching me live. People they have me on live, but they just listen, right? Because they can't look at the screen and listen at the same time because they might be occupied doing other things. All right. So this is a tweet from Shakur Stevenson. I'm going to read it right now. Shakur Stevenson said in a tweet, I believe this was yesterday, right? Shakur Stevenson said, I'm officially retiring from the sport of boxing. I'll be in the gym forever perfecting my craft and helping the next generation become great and chase their dreams, but I ain't effing with this weak boxing game. Those are the words of Shakur Stevenson. Now, I'm telling y'all, like, let me show my face. Yeah, you know me, I ain't never scared to show my face. Hold on for me. Yeah, yeah. You got people scared to show their face, especially scared to show their face over here. All this talking about me they doing, but they scared to come on over here. And I invite them over and they still won't come. Now, Shakur Stevenson is not retiring from boxing. Yes, I'm the only YouTuber that said that. I'm the only content creator in boxing that said that. He's not retiring from, he's not. He's not retiring from boxing. Okay. Yeah, I know what the tweet said. I just read it to you. He's not retiring from boxing. Okay. Yeah, I know it's controversial, but he's not retiring from boxing. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Before we get, because I want to listen now, I want to drop the link in the chat because I want other people to come up and tell me what they think about this tweet from Shakur. But before we get there to talk about Shakur Stevenson, I want to talk about some other things first. Okay. I want to address something just briefly, if y'all don't mind. Real quick, what does the visual look like? I can't see, obviously, because I'm live. I want to make sure that the audio and the visual quality of the content I produce on this channel is right for you all. Is the visual cool? Do I look less clearer than I do when I use the phone or the other 4K little cameras? Do I look everything cool? Am I blurry or everything look cool? Because I got the lights on me. I want to make sure this, seriously, I'm still playing with how I'm going to put this together for y'all. All right, everybody saying it's cool. All right, great. As long as it's cool. All right, now, everybody was talking about this, right? Thank you, Bo. Bo said I'm smooth. Appreciate it. CO said I'm good too. All right. Now, here's the thing. While everybody was running around talking about Erickson Lubin smacking Devin Haney, I told y'all we don't gossip over here. We don't gossip. We gospel. You heard what I tell you? Yeah, that's gossip. Yeah, I know. I know. My cousin's in the chat. He's gonna tell you I'm controversial. I got to keep it 100. People were talking about Erickson Lubin smacking Devin Haney, what, 10 years ago or something? I heard something like that. That's gossip. You hear something? What is he? That's what he say, she say is, isn't it? What do I tell you about hearsay? Hearsay is heresy. That's a quote directly from me. Hearsay is heresy, right? So when somebody say, oh, he did what? Shakur Stevenson's grandfather said what? What? Erickson Lubin smacked Devin Haney? Jumped out the airplane and just start repeating what they heard. And it's okay. I'm just telling y'all, we didn't do that here. We don't do gossip over here. Just like I didn't report on Bill Haney and Bernard Hopkins' situation. Just like I didn't report on Clarissa Shields and Alicia Baumgardner's situation. Just like I didn't report on Caleb Plant smacking Jamal Charlo. And it was tape out on that. It was video footage on that. It was documentary evidence on that situation. Because that's all gossip. We deal with gospel over here, right? We don't deal with things that have nothing to do with boxing. I mean, it is good beef and it is get you some good views on YouTube. But the thing I'm trying to say is, while everybody else was focusing on Erickson Lubin, allegedly, I got to say allegedly, no proof about it, just hearsay, allegedly smacking Devin Haney, we had Tim Montgomery on the channel. Yeah, everybody was talking about somebody else getting smacked, but we had to put the work in to secure an interview. Tim Montgomery. Now, I didn't even get some of y'all take on that. I would love to get with you. Hey, when I drop the link in the chat, oh, we're going to talk about, I want your assessment of if you were here. Now, if you were not here, don't panic. Don't panic. I got something for you. Don't panic now. I'm going to make sure you get the full interview. Don't worry about that. I'm not going to tell you when just yet. See, especially if you're not a member of the channel. See, now if you're a member of the channel, now I can, hey, and upsell you on something now. I have something of value to give you, to offer you. That's what we do over here. So I want to know what y'all think about that as well. Those of you that were here. Now, here's the great thing about it too. I also published an excerpt of the interview with Tim Montgomery. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday, right? So I think that was a 10-minute video, and you saw Tim Montgomery speaking, right? In that video. So even if you didn't see the full, interview, you may have seen just that excerpt of uh the interview, right? Right. I want to hear your take on that. I want to hear what you think about what you heard Tim Montgomery say and the direction that this channel is moving in. See, one of the things that we do here, I can't speak for nobody. Let me put my glasses on right now. I need to hear what y'all have to say. So let me put these on. Oh, now I can hear. All right. I can't speak for nobody else's content, no one else's channel. But over here, our main objective is to provide two things: education first, and entertainment second, right? That's what we do over here. So all I'm saying is that people have been criticizing me all week long. That's why I'm bringing this up. I want to clarify a few things. And they say, well, Manager Marty, all you talking about is the snack program. All you keep talking about is Terrence Crawford cheating Errol Spence. All you keep talking about is PD, all this stuff that we've been hearing all week in my comment section. But let me share something with you. You ain't heard nowhere else. And what's the famous two words I've been saying for the beginning of 2024? And these two words is going to follow us all year long. So what? So what? Okay, so what? I'm talking about cheating in boxing. So what? I'm educating you. You learn something, right? Okay. Hey, listen, I'm the YouTube rookie. I just got here. You ain't hear nobody else be talking about it. All right. So why not come over here and get the education? Why not come over here and get the information? It's just information. You do what you want with it, but at least I'm given the opportunity to present it. Hey, listen, we had Victor Conti over here. Victor even came over here. He didn't come over here once. He came over here twice. The man came over here twice in a matter of 7, 8 days. Within 7 to 8 days, Victor Conti was over here twice. 5 hours of live content that I have with Victor Conti. We learned something. Tim Montgomery, he came over here, dropped some jewels on us now, gave us some real insight and knowledge from an athletic perspective, from somebody who was a client of Victor Conti. Hey, it's all good if you don't agree. It's all good if you don't like it, but are you learning anything? Yeah, I want to tell you something. Speaking of learning, I always try to give you all little pieces of my life, right? I always do that because you know why? We love and enjoy human interaction, right? So let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. Y'all know how I do. When I first got divorced, now I'm going back a very long time ago. I was getting into the dating scene, right? And women would ask me the same question over and over and over again. And you know what they would ask me when they first meet me? Some of them, they would say, well, what happened? Like, when I tell them I'm divorced, it could have been like I just got divorced a year ago or 6 months ago or 3 months ago. You know what they say? Well, what happened? Why? Who cheated on who? They want me to point the finger at myself or the woman. You know what they say? Why did you get divorced? What happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? And you know what I would tell them? It don't make a difference of what happened. What difference does it make? Because I'm not the same Marty I was in certain levels of immaturity when I was married. So what difference? If I gave you a whole list of things I did wrong, if I give you a whole list of things she done wrong, what difference does it make? You know the question that you should be asking me instead of why and what happened? This is the question you ought to be asking me, sweetheart. This is what I tell a woman. This is what I used to tell her. What did I learn from it? Did I learn anything from it? That's the question you should be asking me. And for anybody out there, when someone's telling you about their past experiences, that's the question I'm asking you. Can you please ask that person? Don't ask them why. Don't ask them what happened. No. Just ask them, what have you learned from it? Because if I can tell you what I've learned from that experience, guess what's going to happen? You are going to hear, and then my actions is going to prove after that you're going to see my improvements. Right? So my point in bringing all of that up, to bring it all the way back around to YouTube and boxing, it don't make a difference of my reason of why are you learning anything. It only takes one of you to learn one thing about the sport and the business of boxing that you haven't learned nowhere else or didn't know about before you came to this channel. That satisfied me. That's enough for me. That's more valuable than any super chat that I can receive. You know why? Because when you learn something here, you can go and tell somebody else. You don't have to tell them with Manager Marty, you know, I ain't hooked up on fame. I don't care about that. Just let them know you learned something that you didn't know before, and then let them tell somebody else. And then guess what? We will grow the community of boxing because it will debunk a lot of myths, right? All the stuff that we're hearing from people that are not even qualified. It'll X all that mistruth and misinformation out the way, right? And that's what satisfied me. So what I'm saying is, did you learn anything? Okay, I had Tim Montgomery over here. Did you learn anything? Okay, I had Victor Conte over here twice. Did you learn anything? Okay, I said the stack program worked. Did you learn anything? Yeah. But why you keep on talking about what difference does it make? Did you learn anything when you came here? Because if you did, go and tell somebody else so they can learn something. That's all. That's all I'm on YouTube for. Let me take my glasses off so y'all can hear what I'm saying. See, I put the glasses on so I can hear y'all, and then I take them off so y'all can hear me. I'm not here for the looks. I'm not here for the likes. I'm here for the licks. You dig? Let that process. Now, with all that being said, we don't do gossip here. We talk the business of boxing. So even if I'm bringing up cheating in boxing, even if I'm bringing up corruption in boxing, even if I'm bringing up the great things that happen in boxing, I use everything on this channel as a teachable moment. Even let's watch this. Let me prove to you what I'm talking about. Even when I was entangled in YouTube beef, I use it as a teachable moment to educate the public. Y'all remember I was in the YouTube beef with Mike Williams Sr. Y'all remember that? The boxer, Mike Williams Jr., his dad. Y'all remember that? Some of y'all don't remember. Some of y'all new to the channel and don't know that, but that's all right. Some of my day one supporters I see in the chat, they remember. And then before that, I was in the YouTube beef with Blue Blood, Sports TV. Y'all remember that? What about the YouTube beef I was in with Rick Glaser? Y'all remember that? Okay. What about the YouTube beef I was in with Scotty from World Combat Sports? Y'all remember that? Okay then. What I'm saying is I use all of those quote unquote YouTube beefs as teachable moments. You see what I'm saying? That's all I did. It's not personal with me unless you make it personal with me. It's just business. It's just TV. It's just entertainment. That's all it is. And guess what? All of the people that I had YouTube beef with, every last one of them, watch this, every last one of them respect me deep down in their soul. They respect me. Oh, I had a YouTube beef with Victor Conti too, because he did start that little, he's the professor and Manager Marty need to be schooled, and I'm going to take you to Conti University. Y'all remember that? Okay, then. That's all I'm saying. So I use it all as a teachable moment to educate you. And that's all that matters. And guess what? Y'all heard what Victor Conti said. He said, I'm a fan of yours. You're intelligent, you're articulate, and you ask good questions. And I have fun over here. You see, Victor, if Victor Conti can say that, then why are you in the comment section hating? If Victor Conti can say that, why are you in my chat trying to disrupt the live? Not y'all that's here today. I'm just saying this is the people that's watching me right now. I'm gonna tell you how powerful truth is. Let me show it to you, y'all. Truth is so powerful that even when it's not fully developed, somebody gonna run and repeat it. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Truth is so powerful that even when it's not fully developed, people gonna run and repeat. Let me tell y'all this, right? I thought this was extremely interesting. I'm on live. Huh? Listen to me now. I'm on live talking to, and this is not when I say this, this is not a shot at nobody. I'm trying to tell you that I use everything as a teachable moment. I'm on live. Some of y'all don't even know this. I'm gonna bring it around. Watch this. I'm on live, right? Live in living color. I had Victor Conti right here. First interview. I ain't getting no more than an hour in the interview because he was over here the first time. He was over here the first time for 2 hours. Second time he was here for 3 hours. I didn't get a whole hour in the interview. And while I'm interviewing Victor Conti, he made a reference about BLK Prime. And the truth didn't get an opportunity to be fully developed right away, but it was repeated. You see what I'm talking about? Yeah. My buddies. They still my buddies now. They my buddies now. AM Sports Media. I see what they did. I thought I was like, man, woo-wee. While I was interviewing Victor Conti, live in living color right here. Not even an hour in it. While I was interviewing, he mentioned something about BLK Prime and the promoter not having enough money to pay for drug testing between Terrence Crawford and David Ebenezer. I'm talking about drug. When I say drug, I'm talking about PED testing through VOP. And right while I was asking him another question after he answered that, AM Sports Media, they dropped a video about it. And I still was live and didn't know nothing about it. And so I said to myself, I said, man, the truth traveled far before it's even developed. And so what I'm bringing all that home to say is that it don't make a difference of the reason why, as long as you learn something and you go tell somebody else. Yeah, you learned something from here. Go tell somebody about what you learned. If it's true, that's all you got to do. That's all I'm saying. And that was for all the haters. You know, I got to address you every now and then to let you know I'm motivated by you. Yeah. I don't take none of that person. Yeah, they call me goofy in my comments section. They say I'm a clown. I don't know about the business of boxing. I ain't no real manager. I'm a manager at Walmart. Then you got people who are following behind Coach. Yeah, when I do that, I'm tap dancing, bootlicking. Yeah, Coach Malachi, when he called me like with them little pet names, you got other content creators hating on me, trying to repeat what he say. Janitor Farty and all that. I don't acknowledge it because I know that's not my name. But there's a reason why I had to realize this. There's a reason why they call me janitor. There is. I mean, we don't have to get mad about it. We just understand the reasoning. The reason why they call me a janitor, and I do rap. I was going to do a freestyle earlier today, like right now, like freestyle live. But I said I'm gonna wait. I ain't gonna do it yet. I'm going. One day I'm gonna jump on live. When I turn the camera on, show my face, I'm gonna bust out with a freestyle. All right. So y'all hold me to that. Now, the reason why Coach Malachi called me a janitor is because every time the haters get on YouTube and mess up, I come right behind them with the broom, dustpan, and mop and clean the mess up. You know what I'm talking about? That's why they call me a janitor. Because every time the haters get on YouTube and mess up, I come right behind them. Broom, dustpan, and a mop, clean the mess up. That's why they call me a janitor. I figured it out now. So it's not a direct shot at me. That's just the name that he gave me out of pure admiration. That's all it is. They run it with it like, oh man, he's saying something great about me. No, he trying to throw a little shot with that little water gun he got. Yeah, but it ain't gonna hurt. That's why I invited him over here to talk to me, have a dialogue with me. I called him on the phone live while he was on his channel. Y'all heard it. Some of y'all was here. Man told me I ain't coming over there. Why not? You say all of that when I'm not around. Come over here and say it. That's all you got to do. He didn't want to come over. I invited Mike Williams Sr. to come over here. He was watching me live and didn't click that link. But he went on Monty Brown's channel. Y'all seen what he did last year. Come on, I ain't rehashing nothing. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. Yes, that's all I'm doing for the new audience that's here. He went on Monty Brown's channel. Yeah, he was talking reckless. So I said, well, he was in the chat. He was here on the channel. Why didn't he just click the link and talk to me? You don't got to run on nobody else's platform to talk about me. You was here with me. Click that link and come on up here. He didn't want to do it. It's the Blue Blood Sports TV. I'm not rehashing nothing, but I'm trying to prove a point to send a message to all of my viewers. You see? I invited him. Come over here. Now, I have to admit, before I invited him over here, he actually invited himself. He did. Yeah, some of y'all don't know the story, but I ain't gonna go all into it. He invited him. This before I even knew how to do a live. See how I'm doing live? I didn't know how to do this in December of last year. I didn't know how to do lives. Like, see how I'm doing a live? I didn't know about StreamYard. Never even heard of it. Never even knew how to do super chats live. Click the link. I didn't know about none of this stuff, y'all. But the man told me on somebody else's platform, whenever you go live, put that link out there and I'm going to jump on there. That's what he told me. I didn't even know I had to call my man, YSM Sports Media, to ask him to interpret. Hey, what did this guy talking about when I go live and the link? How do I do that? You see? And when I did it, man didn't show up. He gave me his word and he didn't show up. And then I reached out to him privately to tell him, yeah, it wasn't no sneak attack over here. I got the evidence. You know what? If I speak about something publicly, you know I got the proof. You know the prosecutor got the evidence. Now, with that being said, he was watching me too live. Somebody sent me a video of this guy named Manager Marty. I don't know who he is. You knew who I was. He was doing videos on me, dissing me indirectly on your live. You knew who I was. Everybody know this to be true now. Okay? So I told him to come on over. Come on over and say all of that here. Let's talk about it. Wouldn't come. He said to his audience, I ain't never coming on that man's channel. Well, you invited yourself. Now, all of a sudden, you didn't want to come over and talk to me. That was a song from Jodeci, right? Come and talk to me. He was talking about women. Not talking about him. I'm just saying, if you're going to say that, just come over here. But he didn't want to come. Now, I will give Coach Malachi credit. Not Coach Malachi, not him. The guy who he get his information from. What's his name? Rick Glaser. Because Rick Glaser did come. Now, I didn't know me and Rick Glaser had an issue until he got here. He did finally get here, but I didn't even know me and him had an issue when he got here. It was the guy, Justin Green. What's his name? He called himself King nowadays. It was his name, but he had another name. It wasn't King. What was his YouTube name? Some of y'all in the chat was here. What's his name? His real name Justin, but what is his name? His name that he used to have. Anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. He's the one that brought Rick Glaser's name up here. I didn't. He said, you can't, I bet you can't debate my man. You can't, you will lose a debate with my friend. I said, well, who's your friend? I ain't even talk about debating nobody. Yeah, I'm talking about Rick Glaser. He'll cook you over here. I'm like, why you worrying about debating? I ain't say nothing about the guy debating me. Well, hey, since you brought him up, tell him to come on. Oh, G-Man, there it is, Andre. There it is. The boy name is G-Man. G-Man. Yeah, G-Man. Thank you for that, brother Andre. G-Man. He brought his name up. I said, well, I ain't trying to debate nobody, but I'm not going to definitely back down from what you're saying. And Rick Glaser came here. And y'all see what Rick Glaser did. Y'all seen what he did. and the undertones. Y'all seen what that white man was saying to me. And some of you black activists on YouTube didn't even stick up for me. Y'all talk about all this black power and the black man. And y'all heard how that man disrespected me and them undertones that he used. And y'all didn't even stick up for me. Not y'all, not the Roller Tape Film Crew. I'm talking about the other guys that be tap dancing for him. Yeah, the black activists. Y'all seen how he acted. You see what I'm saying? See, what I'm trying to get y'all to understand is this. The truth, even when it's not fully developed. See, that's the point that I'm making. Even when it's not fully developed, it's going to be repeated. And so what y'all going to get when you come here is truth. I'm never going to lie to you all. I'm going to always keep it 100. I'm going to always keep it 100. Listen, I'm going to always be unbiased. Got a good friend of mine. I love having conversation with him. You know what he said to me, and I hope he don't get upset because I'm repeating this. This was a private conversation, but you know what he said to me, and I'm repeating it because it's relevant. If it was personal, I wouldn't repeat it. But he said, "You know what, Marty? All this time you've been on YouTube, I still don't know who your favorite fighter is. That's how unbiased you are." I had to sit back and think about that. He's right. You won't know who my favorite fighter is even if I have one. You don't even know if I have one or not because I'm unbiased, because we deal with what's real over here. And that's what separates the channel. You know what I mean? We want to do creativity when we come here. It's all about education and entertainment. But as long as the education revolves around truth, whether you like me or not, you're going to respect it. That's all I'm saying. I am controversial, and I make no apologies for it. Yeah, I don't care about Terrence Crawford fans getting mad at me. How you gonna get mad at me for talking about the snack program when you won't even ask the man why he went over there? I've been asking for months and months and months. What did he go over there for? You got people saying, you know what? Hey, hey, Manager Marty, why you ain't say nothing about Boots? You ain't say nothing about Devin Haney. You ain't say nothing about Andre. You ain't say nothing about Caleb Plant. You only talking about Crawford being on the snack program. Guess what I did? I told them they didn't want to believe me, Andre. Hey, Edward, I told them they didn't want to believe me. Hey, Creo, I told them, but they didn't want to believe me. I said, hold on. I'm gonna get to the other snack fighters. I am, but I'm only dealing with Crawford now because he's just full of spits. I was trying to segue it with Devin Haney for Lomo, but y'all wouldn't give me a chance because everybody was talking about Tank Davis, right? Fighting Devin, right? So I held off a little bit. And then I wanted to see how Terrence Crawford looked at his third fight with the snack program. Then I said I'm going to bring it out. And then guess what? Now I start talking about the other snack fighters, and that's still not good enough. Now I'm talking about all the other fighters they claim that I wasn't talking about, and it's still a problem. Man, that's all I'm saying. You can't please everybody. You're going to have people that agree with you sometimes, and you're going to have people that don't agree with you sometimes. It's all good. It all comes with it. Let me drop that link in the chat real quick. I want to talk to somebody else. I know we got somebody else that want to talk to me about this whole ordeal of Shakur Stevenson, but of course we have to give our insight on what's my man Tim Montgomery. Yeah. You know, hey, you know it's the truth. Who that said that? Creo? Of course. You know the prosecutor cracked the case wide open. I've been holding this in for 15 years. I've been holding this thing in for 15 years. In 13 years, when we talk about VADA, yeah, I cracked the case. I did. And guess what? Case still not solved all the way. And we still got work to do, Roller Tape Film Crew. Oh, yes. Link in the chat now. Come on up and let's talk. Yeah. Let's talk about this. I just want to know what your assessment was of the Tim Montgomery interview. And the reason why I'm bringing that up It's because that's the last time I saw y'all. Last time I saw you all, you know. Let me see if I can pin that link to the top. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You got Keith Thurman fighting Tim Tszyu. We talked about that. We talked about that already. Mm-hmm. I done broke down the business of boxing and why that's happening. Yeah. Let me see if I can pin that link to the top right now. Let's see if I can pin that thing up. Yeah. There you go. Bam. Pin right to the top now. Pin right up to the top. Hold on, I gotta do something else to this. I can't get no support here. Unless I show you I need support. Bam. Got to put that up there. Yes. Brother needs support. You know YouTube is shadow banning my channel, right? I don't care what nobody tell me. I know what's going on. Yeah, that's facts. They shadow banning the channel. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't even put my name in my own title. Did y'all know that? If I go and create a video, even this live, and put Manager Marty's name in the title, monetization is going to come up gold and yellow, limited. How I can't put my own name on my own content? I can't put my own name in my own title, publishing my own content. And then the last 3 weeks, every day I go live, and as soon as the live go off, I go to check to make sure the monetization is good before I limited monetization. Come on. Then all of a sudden, I do good videos, good content, great quality. I mean to tell me I get 200 views on videos with the same quality. I was getting 2,000 views before November. 3,000 views on my live, 1,000, 1,500 on a live. Come on, man, stop playing. I watch YouTube. When I put that video out, when Victor Conti said Errol Spence had altitude sickness, y'all remember that? I watched YouTube push it out fast and hard, boom. But then after it got past a certain couple hours, they stopped pushing it out. They just did it again. They've been doing it. And I watched them literally do it again. When I did, what was that video I just published? It was when I did that part 3. I did part 3. Terrence Crawford fed up. I did part 2 first and part 3. Terrence Crawford fed up, right? I just watched him do it the other day. As soon as I put the video out, great quality. Go and listen to the content. And I'm not being biased saying it because it's me. I'm talking about the information that you learn in these videos. That's why I'm bringing this up. Boom. Push that thing out fast and hard. Then after a certain hour, they said, that's it. What's that video I did? That's why, just so y'all know, that's why I included that acting part of it. Remember that video I just did? When I did the skit, I did the reenactment of Lean On Me, Joe Clark. Y'all remember that? I just did that video. They pushed that thing out fast and hard. Boom. I got like 1,100 views in an hour. I said, I want to watch what they do the next hour. I said, okay. What happened 6 hours in? And I posted at a certain time for a reason. So they pushed it out fast and hard. And then once it got past a certain level, they stopped. I see what they're doing. But guess what, YouTube? I don't care if you listen or not. The truth gonna come out. You better believe it is. And I ain't just talking about just any type of controversy or corruption in boxing. I ain't talking about anything we talk about on this channel. It's going to come out, and I'm going to speak on it. Yeah, I'm going to speak on it. Hey, listen, everybody on YouTube know how I am, and I'm going to maintain integrity. That's just what it's going to be. I'm standing on mine. Yeah. So guess what? I'm not making no money like that on YouTube, but who cares? As long as my audience learn something about the sport and the business of boxing that you didn't know before you encountered this thing here. And guess what? All your support helps. your super chats, your cash apps, they help grow this channel. You know what I mean? So hey, it's all good. You ain't gonna be popular all the time, especially when the truth come out. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Listen, Terrence Crawford fans even love me. Yeah, they do. You talking all this trash like they don't care about the information that they learn here. Of course. Of course they like me. That's why I don't take it personal. Errol Spence fans, they like me. It's all good. Content creators, they be watching too. Yeah, you know they watching. Yeah, some of them be freeloading too. They come over here. You know how you got a family member you ain't seen in years. They hear it's a cookout or a barbecue. Yeah, now all of a sudden they come show up when the food being served. They get them a free plate. Then they turn around after they eat the free plate, and then they start making a new plate so they can take it home for the week. And then they go over there with their friends or at work and eat the food that they done stole. And I say stole because they ain't put in on it. Yeah, we see what y'all doing. You come over to Manager Marty channel. Yeah, you come over and get all this free information. Then you go back on your channel and act like to your audience that you knew all along. When you've been on YouTube for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years before me, and you ain't never tell the people what the business of boxing was. Yeah, I know what y'all doing. You know what? They've been hiding, Mr. Greg. I'm gonna let you on, Mr. Greg, but I got the vent. I wasn't here yesterday. They've been hiding all these years, letting y'all know. And it's the business of boxing. Remember, y'all been hearing that all over YouTube, all of them that be hating on me. It's the business of boxing. It's the politics of boxing. They've been hiding behind that. And then the real guy shows up in the business. Now, all of a sudden, now they don't like me. Come on, man. I ain't did nothing to you. I don't care if you like me or not, though. I ain't do nothing to you. Yeah, I know what I did to you. I came over here and rained on your parade. Because now your audience coming over here like, hold up, this guy, man, Jamarty sound like he know what he talking about. Let me go cross-reference that over to one of his detractors channel. And then they say, hold up, somebody lying. Somebody lying. And it's something about truth when you hear. What I tell y'all, when you hear truth, whether you believe in God or not, this is facts. God built in every human a mechanism called discernment. Now, it's going to take you time to cultivate it. But the point I'm making is when you hear truth as a human being, you know it's truth. You might not agree with it. You might not even accept it. You might not even embrace it. But when you hear it, you know it's true. When Tim Montgomery was here, when he was speaking, you know the words he said was true. You heard it. You heard it through your phone. You heard it through your iPad. You heard it through your electronic device when that man spoke. It's true. Oh, but when somebody lying through their teeth, it might sound like the truth. You might even believe it at first. But as soon as that person walk away, guess what that discernment is going to do? It's going to keep questioning what you heard. Days later, weeks later, months later, years later, you're going to come back and say, hold up a minute. But I heard such and such say last year. That's discernment for you to learn how to do what? Rightly divide what's true and what's false. Yeah, these are principles of life. I don't just talk boxing here. I give you principles of life that you can apply right now. My God, Mr. Greg. Mr. Greg, wake up, Mr. Greg. Talk to me. What's going on, brother?
Sorry.
Oh, you on the phone? I thought you was asleep. Hey, Mr. Greg.
No. I ain't going to do that to you.
Hey, listen, Mr. Greg, I can't criticize you because look, on Monday, now some people might not notice, Mr. Greg, but some people caught me leaning, Mr. Greg. Hey, sometimes I be those. Hey, because I try to be here to make my commitment. Huh?
You putting in work.
Man, I'm putting in work all over the globe. Listen, this is tax season, Mr. Greg. Now, my audience may not know this, but I am a certified tax practitioner. I want everybody to know that if you don't know. But so I got a lot of clients. I got to do what I got to do. I'm not making this boxing. I'm not making no excuse. But I still got to come here every day. I tell y'all I'm gonna come here to give y'all, you know what I mean? Be here for y'all. No excuses. No excuses.
Hey, I want to congratulate you on the Tim Montgomery interview. I'm sorry I had to leave in the midst of it when it was getting real good. I got the little
the video.
No, I was there. I sent my last little $10 or whatever because I had to leave. Remember, I said I got to go. Oh,
Yeah,
I was so mad, but some stuff was happening, as you know. But I still want to say because I've been looking for it. I mean, I got back home thinking I made a catch. I said, "Nah, he gonna chop that thing up before I get to it."
Hey,
Because I
hey,
had some
listen.
questions I
Salute.
wanted to put to you to give him, but I also want this, as I said, I think what he did, what I did hear him say, I hope a whole bunch of people who saw that part at least, particularly young men, because he came across right away with no filter, no BS. Listen, here's what I was, here's what I did, et cetera, et cetera. I just love that. I hope other boxers were listening to the part where he said he is a business. He was a business and start thinking like that because a lot of them, as he said, you get the money, you start spending, you start doing everything but taking care of the business itself, which is you. So I just
Right.
wanted to be able to, I wanted to be able to even just say thank him for saying that because he's an athlete who was at the top of the game. So what you was doing, and once again, you done did it again. First Victor, now Tim. Might still be somebody else. I keep hitting at you. Somebody else is
Say his
coming.
name on here, Mr. Greg. Who you talking about?
You know I'm talking about Crawford. He
Come
coming.
on over here, Terrence
He
Crawford.
coming. He coming.
Come on over, brother. I can't wait till he coming. Here's the thing, Mr. Greg, because I know he's
Yes.
watching or burning them guys. They've been watching. So here, let me send a little message to them. I'm gonna treat. Let me take this off so they know I'm serious. I do a lot of play. You know, I play around, but seriously, I'm gonna treat Terrence Crawford like the professional that he is. The same way I did Victor, the same way I do Tim, and anybody else that represent the business of boxing. I'm gonna treat them with the proper respect. I'm not gonna do no hanky panky and all. No, I represent the business. They represent the business. I'm gonna treat them with the utmost respect that they deserve here. Now, I'm not gonna sit there and act like you ain't gonna have to answer any questions. But at the same time, we just want truth and knowledge. You know what I mean? So when they come, I'm not gonna do no entertainment. You know, I'm the character manager, Marty. No, I'm gonna ask you questions. I'm gonna allow these guys to talk, and I'm not gonna just talk about the snack. You know what I mean? I want to hear about their life, their background, how you get started in boxing. That's why that's the first question I always, like I did Harvey Dock, the referee who officiated
Oh
the
yeah, I
Terrence
forgot
Crawford
about
and
him.
Errol Spence fight. That's right. I'm always going to ask so that we all can get an understanding of their background and how they got involved in the sport of boxing to motivate and encourage somebody else. It's not just about one little piece. No, 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 no. I'm going to treat them like a respectful human being and a professional that's in this business. So I just wanted to say that, you know what I mean? Because I
Well,
know they all listen.
you got a lot
I'm
of
listening.
people who come on the panels, the podcast. They've already stamped you. They are anybody who comes on have seen your show. They don't research. They don't look at how you conduct yourself, how you carry. So they already know how it's going to go if they're one of those people we all want to talk to. So
Yeah.
it's just a matter of you staying consistent of what you're doing, and when they find say, okay, we need to go talk to that man and let the people who are listening to him because they're getting educated too. Now they got some questions that are more structured that may get out there that sooner or later going to have to be answered. You either answer them now or you answer them later, but you're going sooner or later, you're going to answer them. So come on over here.
Yo,
So all of us in the chat, can get it in.
yep. And my
Yeah, that.
cousin just made a good point. Oh, I'm sorry,
Uh-huh.
Mr. Greg.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was going to say my cousin in the chat, he just made a good point. He said, I asked Jeff Mayweather life questions, and I did. Forgot about that. I did. You know what I mean? Because it's
Yeah.
not just about us talking about boxing. This is real life. I always say that life and boxing parallels each other. Each
It
other.
does.
Sports in general does, but especially boxing, because sometimes when you're in life, you're by yourself. Sometimes there's nobody in the ring of life. Sometimes, but you, and you have to overcome, and you have to make adjustments, just like the fighters are by themselves inside of
Yeah.
that square circle. You know what I mean? So that's
Right.
why I always parallel certain things to boxing in life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Great parallel because you get asked some questions out there. I don't care what age you are, when you coming up and you as a young man, an older man, or middle age, you building yourself to whatever it is that you're trying to become. The questions gonna get asked of you that you're gonna have to answer. And
Yeah.
that's the same way in the ring. Sometimes all of the things you think you can do, somebody gonna question whether you really can. And that's the same thing in life. I think who was to say that the boxing ring, that four corner circle, that's life. When you in there, you got to face that one man, or you got to face the life, and whatever he gonna bring to you, or whatever you gonna find out there, you have to find a way, overcome it, and move forward. So I think, and that's why boxing for us as men, particularly black men, and maybe some other nationalities as well, why we've been able to, the ones who do flourish, have been able to flourish so well, because it's taken them away from the things that would have made them somewhat a negative force out there. And even though the
Yep.
guys who don't make the $1 million purses, they still learn something. Still, a lot of the times they become something else that was an option for them, but boxing opened that door for them as well. And some fall by the wayside, of course, but I always will
Yeah.
try. I have a lot of nephews. I have tried to get all of them into boxing back when they were young enough to do it. I had a little bit of success for a very short period of time with one. The rest of them, the mamas was like, no, 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 my baby go. Okay, I ain't going through that with y'all. But
Yep.
it's always because where we are, I'm down here in DC, and it was a whole bunch of craziness like any other urban city that was going on down
Yeah.
here. And you want to sort of steer them in a way where they get some structure. And if you can do that, boxing is as much problematic as it is, and how much corruption and all the other crazies is out there. There's still some good things in there too, and that's what you try to want to focus in on. And hopefully, I guess some of the guys who are in the chat, I think I've heard. I know 2 Cent son is boxing, and I think somebody else is. I think D Town Boxing. He said he got his daughter, and I think one of his sons boxing as well. So it just shows you that, in spite of the problems that boxing have, we still have love for it, and we still try to do something with it. We still trying to be, try to change it and make it better, because it has been helpful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that with all the things that you said, is the very reason, and I'm glad you brought it up before I did, because I was going to hint on it, is the very reason why I'm saying that Shakur Stevenson is not retired. I think that maybe he was in the moment of how he felt, and he tweeted that. But I
Mm-hmm.
do not believe for 1 second, not even a split second, that Shakur Stevenson is retiring from the sport of boxing. And I am not saying that so he can prove me wrong. I really want him to prove me right, because he has a lot of boxing still left inside of him. He's a young man. He's accomplished a lot thus far. Do you know how many fighters you said fall by the wayside? There's more fighters that fall by the wayside in this sport than the ones that actually make it and
Mm-hmm.
become something. Seriously. And
Yeah, I know.
good representation in this business is priceless. That's why I keep saying it over and over. That's the foundation of why and how I built this channel. Good representation in this business is priceless. And when you have good representation, and most fighters do not have good representation, let alone representation, period. So it's easier for them to fall by the wayside. But it's also easier for fighters who don't understand that they are a business to
Mm-hmm.
fall by the wayside equally. And so Shakur Stevenson has accomplished a lot, being from where he is from, and the opportunities that he has garnered, and the management that he has in Jay Prince, and the promoter
Mm-hmm.
that he has in Top Rank through Bob Arum, right? And the exposure that he's gained just by being on a platform as global as ESPN. He's accomplished a lot. And he's in his another division trying to make a name for himself. So he has accomplished a lot. And I know that people look at accomplishments and they say, well, you have to have this title and you have to have these many belts to be accomplished in boxing. But the truth of the matter is, no, you don't, because it's still a business, whether you have a world championship title wrapped around your waist or not. It's all about making smart investments and having the right team around. So Shakur Stevenson, he needs to learn the business side of boxing if he hasn't already. But he's not retiring from the sport of boxing. Do he feel like he may need a break from boxing? That's possible. That's possible. They make a lot of sacrifices that most people can't see when you're watching fighters on
Yes,
TV. They
especially
make
when you that young.
a lot of sacrifices. And you know, I'm a manager, and I've been around, man. They make a
Yeah,
lot.
it's a
It
lot.
takes a
I've
very
been there.
special.
Just
It
my
takes a
little bit of
very
time.
special person. Listen, you know it, Mister. It takes a special athlete, male or female, to make a decision. Besides getting in the ring to fight, that's a whole nother
Hmm.
process.
Right.
But to make a decision to say, you know what, I want to turn professional and do this for a living. That's something different. And I think that gets undermined on the YouTube boxing community streets because most people don't emphasize that a lot.
Right.
We look at stuff like the drama that come with this person and that person. And no, they make a lot of sacrifices and it don't go unnoticed, especially here and before my audience. And so I don't think Shakur Stevenson is retiring. Do he feel like he need to take a break? That's possible. But he has a lot of boxing left in him. And guess what? There's a lot of good fights and big money out there for Shakur Stevenson. So, and I have to say this because this equally is as important. Let's say Shakur Stevenson retires tomorrow. When he decides to come back, there's still that contract that he still got to be obligated to, whether it be
Hmm.
through the management of Jay Prince or Top Rank. Don't get it twisted. Don't ever get that twisted. And see, that's the business side of it that I want to educate the people on. Okay, he retired. Okay, cool. But guess what? If he called back and say, I just wanted to take a little break, I'm back now. Okay, no problem. We going to resume where we left off at. You had 2 more years left. Yeah,
He's
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because we
frustrated.
still got to invest in you now.
It's
Yeah,
frustration.
he's just frustrated. He's just a young man. He's frustrated. How many times we've been on our job? So, man, you know what? I'm done with this job. I'm gonna quit. You call out for 2 days, and guess what? On the third day, you say, man, look, I got to go back in there and get a little bit of that money. I done missed 2 days. I done ran out of sick time already. I got to go back in there and deal with it. It happens. He's
Yeah.
human. You know what I mean?
He's frustrated.
Mr. Greg,
Things. Yeah. Huh?
no, I'm
What you
listening to
about to
you. I'm
say?
listening to you. Go
Oh
ahead.
yeah, he's frustrated.
Mm,
He's seeing a number of things continually change, and change happens. Something's supposed to happen here, then something happened over there that affects that over there. And when you young and you don't has sacrificed as much as he's had at such a young age, because a lot of times people don't realize you be in the gym starting sometimes when you're 9 and 10 years old. Some people will see you, but the vast majority of people don't see you until you probably in your early 20s. They don't know
yeah.
what was going on the years before they started seeing you. They don't know that you really wasn't making no whole bunch of money if you was making any at all. They don't know how much you could have been doing in another venue or another type of genre of work, but you chose this because you really were dedicated and committed to it, and you were paying a heavy price. So yeah, I can see where once you start getting a little something, how you can sometimes get a little heady about it and be a little big headed for a minute, because we've seen it. Fighters start getting the $1 million purses and so forth, and don't. Man, I've been running and exercising for 15 years. I don't feel like doing this right now, and we'll
Yeah.
cut corners. That will happen, and I think that's what's happening with him. And he's not even getting the fights that he really wants because the business gets in the way. And being patient is something that you all, particularly men, we got to constantly learn to master that. I don't care how old
Yeah.
you are. Being impatient can be very, very taxing, and the younger you are, the harder it's going to be for you. And I think that's where we're seeing him right now. I don't think he's retiring. He probably is like, man, I'm tired of this. And as you just said, I'm going to take a break, and
Yeah.
hopefully Andre and James Prince and Bob, they understand that and giving them some space. Let the young man relax for a minute. And it could be just he just felt like that for the day. He may not feel like that right now as we talking. Because like I said, things change all the time. But allow that to happen. That's all I say.
Yeah.
As long as he's not doing it
Yep.
in the ring,
Yep.
you know. So that's how I see that situation with
Yeah.
Shakur.
And
I
I
don't think.
and that's I agree with you, man. That's why I'm saying he's not going to retire. He's just expressing his frustrations. And you got to understand there's a lot of pressure on him as a fighter, especially in this climate of YouTube. Because I can tell you something right now. When you look at people in the chat, when you look at people's comments in the comment section, particularly just on my channel, if I wasn't mentally tough, it'll break me because the things that some people say are very,
Whew,
very disingenuous, cruel, distasteful, disrespectful. And I'm just a boxing manager who is a host of a
yeah.
podcast. Imagine a fighter that has to live with this, with his or her name being in the lights, being on a YouTube title every day. It's tough. A celebrity in general, it's tough for fighters, especially on YouTube, man. And then you got the host who might be grinding you up and saying certain things. It's tough. It's tough. So it can be emotionally, psychologically, and physically draining to some fighters. And he might be at his point where, hey, I want to relax for a second because think about it. Shakur Stevenson been fighting since he's been a kid. So let's say let's say he's, I don't know how old he's at. How old is Shakur? 26, 27.
I think he's 26.
So let's say he started when he was 6. He put 20 years in this sport. And you know just as well as I know, and I'm about to let my man Fort Green come on. We all know as older men, and y'all guys might be older than me, but we know when you put in 20 years into a job, 5 years into a job, 10 years into a job, sometimes you get psychologically fatigued and you
Hmm.
start cutting corners and you start saying, well, look, I'm going to make it a little easier for myself. I'm doing too much. I'm making too much of a commitment and I don't see. You see what I mean? So we
Hmm.
all deal with it as humans. And this is just his profession. He's probably having fatigue, mental fatigue, and it happens. And I want to give Shakur the space right now to let him know, young fella, it's all right. But we need you in the sport of boxing, and Shakur ain't retiring. As long as Manager Marty on YouTube and the Roller Tape Film Crew members is here, Shakur Stevenson is not retired from boxing. We're going to encourage the young man to get back in the ring, and even if he's not getting the fights he wants, they all going to come around to you because you got good representation.
Remember what I said about fans sometimes being the problem? When we were talking
Yep.
about that early. Most fighters are experiencing that more so than ever before because now the new platform of YouTube and the internet. Now everybody can say whatever they want to say, be witty with it, be mean with it, change the wording up, makes you look like you're not nothing but a piece of ish, just for the content. And you got to see that every day. And we got to remember these guys are human too, and some of them
Yes.
aren't as mature as myself and Mr. Farrow and yourself, because we done been through some things and we've learned how to navigate stuff. But you're a 21-year-old and most of your life been in the ring. You haven't had all the kinds of experiences that we've had, but yet you got to read that you ain't ish, that you're scared, that you're out, all of that kind of stuff, and it's going to have some ill effect on you, that especially when it's every day and it doesn't go away. So yeah, I think a lot of I think we have to, as boxing fans, regardless, and this is what the kind of channel that we should have, where we stop and remember we still talking about a fellow human being. Yeah, we want them to do this, and there's going to be some criticism that's going to come with the sport, but you have to realize how far you want to go with it. Do you want to remember that you're talking about a guy or lady who still has feelings? Would you want to wake up every day and hear all the kind of nasty, mean spirited stuff? I've seen it about you, and you're the host. Like I said, and a lot of us who be on the panel sometimes we see little comments made about what we say, and then sometimes it don't feel good either. You try to laugh it off, but luckily you're strong enough to continue with it. But I'm 67. This kid is 26. You know, I got a whole bunch of years and I got a whole bunch of armor that he don't have yet. So we just got to remember that, you know, as we talk about the boxers, remember that they are human. Remember that let's not go so far because sometimes we get on these panels and we get the some people name calling and go way too far and don't have any consideration until somebody says something to you that hurts your feelings. Now you mad, you know, but that's what you're doing to this other guy every day. So we just got to remember those kind of stuff, man. And I hope we will do that. Well, we're doing that here. It seems like it at least, and that's why I'm here most of the time because intelligence is being displayed here, and that's a good thing to me.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Fort Greene Pharaoh, I got to give you your flowers. Double salute to you while you're here. Fort Greene is a supervisor of the Roll the Tape film crew, and he is a member of the channel. So I got to give him a double salute. Fort Greene Pharaoh, you walked in while we were talking about Shakur, but before we get your take, because I love your wisdom on Shakur Stevenson, and we're going to still talk more about Shakur Stevenson. But were you here when Tim Montgomery was here through the interview?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. So you didn't get a chance to
No, I wasn't
see
there.
the interview. All right, good stuff. So the panel is still open for anybody that want to come up, give your take on that. Plus Shakur Stevenson. We're going to talk about what's next for Terrence Crawford because we know Tim Zoo. He's fighting somebody else and Keith Thurman. They at the press conference all day today, and people thought that Terrence Crawford was going to fight Tim Zoo, and now that's not happening. And then of course, Errol Spence is he's going through cataract surgery. You know, Dan Raphael, he's on record right now. I think he was on Stephen A. Smith's show. I don't know if it was earlier today or yesterday, where he was basically saying that the climate between Charlo fighting Canelo or Terrence Crawford going all the way up there to fight Canelo Alvarez because obviously he don't have an opponent right now. So I want to start that off first, since Fort Greene didn't see that interview with Tim, and we'll spin right back around to Shakur. And I know more people might want to join the panel. So let's start with you, Fort Greene. What's next for Terrence Crawford since he's not going to be able to fight Errol Spence, at least right now? You know what I mean? Because of the cataract surgery that Errol Spence have to deal with. And then, of course, everybody kept saying he's going to fight Tim Zoo, only to see that Tim Zoo is fighting Keith Thurman in March. What's your take on it? What's next for Terrence Crawford?
Um, excuse me. First and foremost, Manager Marty, thank you for having me. Double salute to you. Double salute to Mr. Gray. I've been waiting
Hey,
for this moment because it's been a minute since I got to chop it up with Mr. Gray. He always gives me the wisdom that I miss that you shell out, Manager Marty. So I don't know. Bud is special. I don't really fool with him like that because of the way he moved or the way he did move. Maybe he changed. Uh, my best advice, honestly, was to coin his phrase: get active. Um, stay active until EJ is ready. Contractually, you gotta fight him. You made it abundantly clear you're not gonna fight Boot. So just stay active. Wait for EJ.
I kind of agree. I'm sorry that this is just my feeling that he still didn't just activate his mandatory status with the WBO. I don't know how that would have worked out, but I would have done it because that's where they were supposed to be going at 154, regardless of whether they did the rematch or not. So why not put that in play as well? Why they didn't do it, I have no idea. But that's what should have been done. But now that Tim Zoo, even though Tim is fighting, which is interesting, he's fighting a non-title fight. So they are saving it. So, it's not like somebody wasn't thinking a little bit, Now, whether they were saving it for Terrence or whether they were saving it for EJ, I tend to believe more for EJ, but it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that title fight is up because right now we know Charlo is going through a whole bunch of craziness. He's being stripped of belts. He got the legal issues going on. And if he can't keep himself together to settle that and get back to his business, that's why I wish a lot of these guys were listening to Tim. And you'll see, I mean, I got to see the rest of it when you put it out, but I wish they would start thinking like that. For the time being, though, however, I don't see but two ways for Crawford to go. He's either going to have to change his mind or change what he's saying and fight Boots. Although I done saw something that Boots is supposed to be scheduled to fight somewhere else. I mean, that's all talk right now. But he either got to fight Boots or whoever is the next in line or who is the mandatory in one of the 154 divisions, take the fight because you're gonna mess around and you're gonna sit around, and who knows what else could go wrong. You could get hurt or something else could go wrong. So you got to stay. You like to say stay active. They showing videos of your training supposedly. Use that time because all we're going to be doing is talking about it, and we're not going to see any fights. And that's not going to be good for anybody, not for him and for anybody else. But that's what I think Terrence is going to have to do. This talk about Canelo is great, sounds good. I don't see it happening. And nor do I mean, I'm a Crawford fan, as you know, but I don't see Crawford beating Canelo. I would love to see him beat him, but I know that's not going to be happening. I don't even think that fight's going to happen, let alone him getting in the ring. So he got to do something. So, and whatever he does is going to be some criticisms because I think the vast majority of boxing fans want him to fight Boots. And if he fights Boots, even if he beats Boots, there's still going to be some criticism, I think, about that too, depending on how he looks. You know, say Boots can make him look, okay, there's some moments you didn't look like he was about to win Crawford. Because I don't think Boots going to beat him. That's my feeling. But the fact of the matter is he's going to have to do whatever he does, he's going to get criticized for. So he's going to have to shore up his feelings, put on some more armor, and fight while he waits for, EJ to get better. Because I've been reading that the fight has been canceled. And it was Dan Raphael, as a matter of fact, who was saying that as well. Now, PBC hasn't said anything that I'm aware of, so that still could be speculation. Everything could be speculation at this point, But while we sitting here talking, we chopping it up too. We going on what we can see and what we can hear. So that's how I agree with you, Mr. Farrow. Yeah, get active, fight somebody. Just make it a good fight. Don't just take somebody that's going to be easy. Make it look like it's going to be something. So, we got to see.
I agree. Now, here's the thing. There's two schools of thoughts that I have. There's two schools of thoughts that I have. As Manager Marty, the character Manager Marty, here on YouTube, I want to see Crawford fight Boots. I want to see it. I think it's a very competitive fight, and I know that Mr. Bozy and Boots want to fight Terrence Crawford. However, though, if I was managing Terrence Crawford, I've said this publicly before, I'll rehearse it and say it again. I would have a press conference right now. I would have it right now and say, on behalf of my client, Terrence Bud Crawford, we are aware that there is a young, hungry lion in a 147-pound division. We also are aware that Errol Spence Jr. made it public that he can't make the weight of a 147 pounds anymore. Let's be clear. My client, Terrence Crawford, you've all heard him publicly acknowledge that he's having trouble at 35, 36 years old, making the weight of 147 pounds as well. Let's put this in proper perspective. That young, hungry lion, Boots, we're not saying we're scared of him because we're not. But Boots is 10 years my client Jr. Okay, let's put that in perspective. Why are we bringing him up? Because we know at this point, public knowledge, that he is the IBF 147-pound welterweight champion of the world. With that being said, my client has already accomplished a feat that no one else did in the sport of boxing. He made history in the four belt era to become undisputed in the 147-pound welterweight division. So, with all of those elements involved, including but not limited to the fact that Boots may not be a draw compared to the status of my client right now in his career, which means we're going to take a loss from the potential earnings that we possibly can generate moving forward without fighting Boots. But not only that, but if we continue to hold on to these three titles that my client has, he's going to lose 9% of his purse just by defending it. 3% per title. Why are we losing 9% of our purse just to defend these titles that he already beat Errol Spence for and accomplished a goal that no one else have in boxing? Not only that, but we're going to lose money because, according to my client, Boots Ennis is not a draw compared to my client. Not right now. We're losing money there. We're in the business to make money and leverage his celebrity and his accomplishments that he obtained from beating Errol Spence, the biggest fight of his career. With that being said, on behalf of my client, I am announcing today, right now, that we are going to vacate the other three titles in this division. And if the young hungry lion Boots want to take over the division, that's fine. We have nothing to do with it. And we're going to move up to 154 pounds. We're going to honor our contractual obligation to give Errol Spence the rematch. He can't make the weight. My client can't make the weight. But in the 147-pound division, we're going to be able to make the weight at 154 pounds. And also, watch this, there are better and bigger opportunities in the 154-pound division because my client will have the opportunity to make history again in three weight classes to be able to fight after we beat Errol Spence, be able to fight whoever the 154-pound champion is. It don't matter if it's Tim Tszyu. It don't matter if it's the Charlo brother. We don't care. We're going after one belt holder if we have to make history all over again. Any questions? That's just how I would conduct a press conference on behalf of my client if I was managing Terrence Bud Crawford.
Had Charlo been stripped of the WBO belt before Terrence and EJ fought, or did it happen afterwards? Reason why I say that, because
I think that happened.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
No, I say that because I'm thinking all that you just said was great, because I heard you say it before, and it makes a lot of sense since they were talking about 154 all along. That when you did all that, he also triggered him being the mandatory for the WBO belt. So the business could have really maneuvered and made that belt available for him and EJ to compete for at 154. You know how the business can get a little, and they give Tszyu some step aside money and say, okay, you get one of them after this fight happens. That's why I was asking, when did that take place?
I think they stripped Charlo before the fight with EJ and Terrence, because that's how Tim Tszyu was able to get that.
Right,
Tim Tszyu was supposed to fight. Yeah, he's supposed to fight Jamel.
Right, I remember that. I just thought that they didn't strip him until after the fight took place, because I know when he was fighting during the fight, he was mouthing at Charlo while he was beating up on EJ. So that's why I couldn't remember when the stripping took place, because that would have been the ideal situation. What you just said, okay, we done did this. We got a rematch at 154. I'm triggering my mandatory because Tip Zoo and Charlo weren't going to fight for some reason. So I would have immediately did that and possibly made that belt available for me and EJ to fight for 154. Because I know the business was structured in some kind of way.
Yeah, they had stripped.
Yeah. Yeah, they had stripped him, but I didn't realize
I
when they
thought
had
that
done
they
it.
stripped Charlo before.
It could
No,
have
it
I
was
been.
thought they
after.
stripped him before the. It was after
It,
that.
it was after. Once he stepped in the ring with Canelo,
Right.
when they
He
rung
got
the
the
bell,
first
Oh,
green.
okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so that would have been ideal if you had if you had to watch all the moves and all the things that was taking place as the manager. If you've seen that, that's what I would have done too. Okay, Tim, I'm not mad at you, but I don't represent you. So we gonna try to get that belt before you do. We'll give you a little couple of dollars to stand on the sidelines. But then of course nobody knew
Yeah.
what EJ's situation was, and he wouldn't have been able to, you know. So even if that had happened, okay, then it would have been him and Tim Zoo. So either way, the 154 belt
But see,
would have been
but see
contested,
the thing.
and it still would
But
have
see the
been.
thing with it.
I think we all some kind of way. The 154 belt would have
Go ahead.
been
Go ahead.
contested between him and Zoo in the event that because EJ couldn't do anything. But as it stands now, PVC was a little bit smarter, knew a little bit more what was going on, and of course, they got the belt in their camp for the moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you like this. PBC, and I'm not speaking for Al Heyman. I just know the business. They're
Mm-hmm.
not gonna allow Terrence Crawford to walk into the 154-pound division and just take the belt and then run. That's not gonna happen.
I just
That's
said they
not
was a
gonna
little bit
happen.
smarter. I
Oh
said
yeah,
they was a little bit
that
smarter.
ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
But the thing would have been Jamel Charlo if he had a choice to fight Crawford and Canelo at the same time to make a decision, and it's not ducking. It's not ducking. He's
Mm-hmm.
looking at the better opportunity for him to generate the most money.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to say, "Well, look, I can always fight Crawford. I'm going to go get that big check from fighting Canelo." You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
We're in agreement there. I'm just looking at a way that Crawford can still keep going, and everybody can still be in position to get something, to make something happen. Because right now, EJ ain't fighting, and we don't know what Crawford's going to do. And we got a non-title fight with Zoo. So we look at all of that. It's like, okay, that, and I think
Well, let me
that's
ask you both this question. I'll start with you. Go ahead, Mr. Greg.
I was just about to say, as it stands now, I don't think too many people are excited about this first card, even though there are some good fights on the card. And I think still is as I said before, it's the pay-per-view factor that's making people less excited about it. But that's what we're standing with now. I mean, if Crawford and Zoo was on that card, that might have been because they had to have known, in my opinion, over at PBC, something about what EJ was going through and what he was getting ready to do and what their decisions was going to be made, what was going to be made. So they had to know some of this way in advance. So okay, y'all ain't gonna fight. Tell you what, sign this right here. You fight Tip Zoo, get his belt, and then the next fight is gonna be, EJ will be ready, et cetera, et cetera. Something not like that would have made us really excited again to see what's going to happen. We know EJ got to sit down for a minute and come back. But I think we would have been more excited and even more willing to be less annoyed about a pay-per-view. If that car, because let's say you got Crawford and Zoo fighting for a championship. I mean, for the belt. You got a great fight with Rolly and Pitbull, Cruz. I forgot about Laura being on a card as well. So that would be a good card. And
Yeah, he on there.
I think that would have been a good card, and I think everybody would have been pleased because we would have understood all the dynamics that was taking place at the time. So that's kind of how I see that, how I wish that could have played out. So
Got you.
what was you going to
Double
say?
salute to Estelle. Oh, I think we're having a lapse.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's on my end or not, Mr. Greg. It sounds like you are having a lapse.
Yeah. Okay.
Double salute to Estelle. Thank you, Estelle, for your cash app. And Estelle says, Manager Marty, I'll be glad when the case is solved. And she was actually sending that message to the prosecutor. Manager Marty, Johnny Cochran. You know what I mean? Because we're going to get the case solved, Mr. Greg. We're going to solve the case, and we're going to find out what's really going on. And I know that people are not going to like it, Pharaoh, but we got to deal with real. We got to get the truth involved when it comes to not just Snap, but the relationship between Victor and Bada, and then the faulty testing system, and all the things we learned from the interviews that I conducted with Victor Conti. So that's where that Cash App just started. That was the origin of the Cash App. Quick question to both of you guys.
You fading out
Should
too.
Keith Thurman? I am.
Your visual is starting
Said
to
I'm
get
fading
fuzzy.
out?
It's in and out. It's fading in and out. Just a tiny bit.
Okay. I was going to ask y'all, should Keith Thurman win this fight? Let's say if he beat Tim Tszyu. No title was on the line. It's at a catchweight, I believe. What's next for Keith Thurman if he beat? If he beat Tim Tszyu, what's next for Keith Thurman? I'll start with you, Pharaoh.
Not to duck out of any more fights. Stay active. Don't win
You
this
say
one,
Laura,
and then we
Mr.
don't see
Grant?
you for another 2 or 3 years.
Did you
But
hear Pharaoh?
I mean, let's say he does beat
Who should he
Tim
fight?
Tszyu. Laura sounds good. I gotta agree with Mr. Greg. Laura sounds good. I like that matchup.
Look, Aris Lady Laura?
Yep.
Or Jose Benavidez. I like that too.
For Keith Thurman? At 54?
Yeah.
154? Jose Benavidez?
Yeah, I like that.
Double salute, 2 Cents Boxing, supervisor of the Robotape film crew and a member of the channel. She's in the chat. Double salute to 2 Cents Boxing. 2 Cents said arrow. She said if Keith Thurman beat Tim Tszyu, he can fight Errol Spence. But Errol Spence got to
I
fight
like that
Crawford,
even
though.
better. I like that even better.
That'll be a good fight. He said he wasn't gonna fight Keith Thurman. Oh wait,
that's
2
the
Cents
thing.
Boxing. She says what? She's saying no. I don't know what she's saying. No. 2 Cents. What you saying no about? She said no. No. What happened? I'll wait for her to respond. Let me put up what she said on the screen so y'all can see.
Oh man.
But I don't know what she's referring to. So hopefully, hold on. She talking about that.
The Jose.
She don't want to Keith Thurman and Jose Benavidez. But that might be an entertaining fight, though. How about if Keith Thurman wins and he'll be at 154. How about he fight Charlo? Jamel Charlo.
That works.
That's another possibility. Will Charlo be ready though? Will Charlo be able to fight? Because Charlo is right now, you know what the situation is. We don't know when he's going to be clear to do that. That's the problem. A lot of the fighters, as this is one more reason why I said I wish they had been listening to Tim Montgomery. This is exactly what he's talking about. Guys putting themselves in positions or getting themselves out of positions because of their own behavior. You know, you got some personal problems. I get it. Sometimes you and your wife or your child's mother get into it, but you got to think about the bigger picture. You got to think about, okay, if we get into it, it's going to be messed up for all of us. If I get arrested or we got to go to court, you're not going to eat. I'm not going to eat. My baby's not going to be able to eat. Let's try to fix this very quickly and look beyond our personal. And they don't think like that. And that's why they need to be listening to learn to think that way so they can be better. Because right now, what our speculation about what could happen is we got to take into factors of who's right now messed up. Charlo is messed up in his own way, and so is EJ. That's two people who kind of off the board for a minute. Then you got Crawford, who don't know whether he's going to fight at 147, or we don't know whether he's going to fight at 147. The only one down there is Boots, or 154. And if he's going to fight at 154, who? So we got all those questions. So, I mean, this is kind of makes it more convoluted before anything gets started than it is had it not happened that way, I should say. But yeah, I kind of like the. But when will he be back, 2 Cent? She said Charlo said he'll be back. Charlo said he's back yesterday. Oh, so if he's back and he's back in the mix, she's talking about Jamel, I'm assuming.
Yeah, Jamel Charlo.
Okay. So if Charlo is back, okay, he back on the board again. I guess whatever issues that was there, then pushed to the side. So maybe Bud and Charlo can start talking now and build a fight from that. That's a good. I really wanted to see that before I would see Tim Tszyu anyway. But if Charlo's saying he's back and they can put that together, let's do that. I think everybody would be happy about that one, more so than Tim Tszyu.
Or if Tim Tszyu win, they probably have him unified with Charlo.
But then who does Bud fight though? That's we right back at that again. I'm sure Charlotte wants. I'm sure Charlotte. Well, Spence is off the board. That's what I'm saying. So I'm sure Charlotte. I think it's going to be more money for Charlo to fight to fight Bud than it would be, for Tszyu. So I'm sure Charlo's recognized, okay, I done got a big payday once. Let me get a decent payday again, as opposed to I think it's a smaller payday with Spence. I mean, with Tszyu, it's good for having 3 of the belts again and stuff like that, or all of the belts again. But besides that, I think most of them are now looking, let me get as much money as I can because my time may be short too. So it's just hard to see. It's hard to see what they all are thinking because these little snafus and problems keep coming up. And you got to look at, like as we say, we got to look at the business. What makes more sense from a business perspective than anything else. And then we can look at the sport because the sport comes after the business. So if Charlo is back, I would love to see here Spence and Charlo gonna go ahead and do that, and Tim Tszyu just gonna sit on the side and take another fight if nothing else. I would love to see that happen first, but we'll see what the business says.
Well, I mean, the business is going to tell you like this, and that's why I asked about if Keith Thurman wins, what's next for him? Meaning Charlo. If Tim Zoo wins, what's next for him? Charlo again, putting all the belts together. Because I don't think, this is just me personally, that's why I asked y'all this question. I don't think that Al Heyman is going to allow, and I said this earlier, not a few minutes ago, Terrence Crawford to go up there, fight some Tim Zoo, beat Tim Zoo and get a belt. Now that's like they want him to honor that rematch with Spence. The loyalty is with Spence over there too. So it's like everybody is going to have to wait for Errol Spence. If he is getting the surgery or if he did already, we don't know. But I just don't see them allowing Terrence Crawford to compete at a weight at 154, a weight class that Errol Spence been asking them for and asking Terrence Crawford for even after the post-fight at the post-fight press conference. I just don't see them hearing Errol Spence say, I can't make the weight. I want to move up to do the rematch at 54 with Crawford. And then they slight Errol Spence to have Crawford fight somebody else at 54, even if it is for a belt. I just don't. I would be highly surprised if Al Heyman and them do that at PBC.
But if Terrence triggers his mandatory status with the WBO, there's not a whole bunch in my opinion, at least, that Al is going to be able to do about that, unless he got Tim Zoo in a contract for more than just this fight with Thurman. Because I know there was supposed to have been a fight with Charlo, but he can't do anything about Bud triggering his mandatory status with the WBO to fight at 154. And I don't think that I really think that Crawford still wants to fight Charlo, to be quite honest. You can say fighters say all kinds of stuff as we've been talking about. But I think where else are you going? Because everybody that you want, that you even talked about fighting, has a tie to PBC anyway. So he ain't leaving PBC regardless of whether he triggers it or not. Let's say he fights Tim Zoo, and that does happen. What's the business connection there? Does he still have that mandatory with Spence? I would think, yeah. Spence is going to be ready, so then Spence can still compete and get a belt if he wins. Or he fights Charlo. Same thing. So he's still going to be connected to the PBC, so he ain't going to get a belt and leave because he can't. He got some kind of business connection to PBC, and it just makes sense anyway. Where is he going to go? Ain't nobody over at Golden Boy. There's nobody over at the Zone. Eddie Hearn can't do anything with him. Frank Warren can't do anything with him. Don't have anything for him. Everybody that makes sense for Bud to fight is connected to PBC anyway. So let that play out. I mean, let him get a belt. You ain't going nowhere. We still got you. That's how I'm looking at it.
Well, the only thing Al Heyman and PBC can do if he try to trigger a mandatory is show in black and white that he signed the contract for an immediate rematch if he beats Spence. That's the only thing they can put that paperwork up there.
That paperwork could be challenged, though, because you're not getting an immediate rematch. And in negotiation, Terrence can always say, I'll take the fight, and we still can do it. But I don't want to. He doesn't have to just because Spence did it. He doesn't have to sit and wait for Spence to get ready in July. He don't have to sit under a sit. He doesn't have to sit a year unless he can't get a fight and wait for Spence to get ready. And because there will be a year, because Spence probably needs about 4 months to recover. I'll say 4 months. Let's just say, and training. So the fight still probably won't happen until June. So he's still sitting. So yeah, I would push hard, say, let me take this fight, and we can still honor the contract, but now we fighting at 154. But get out of the way and let me take one of the fights, either Charlo or Zoo. So we don't know, and because we don't know all the particulars and the minutiae of the contracts and so forth and so on. All we can do, really, as we're doing, is speculating. But I'm just saying, in a perfect world, all the fighters that he want to fight is still connected to PBC anyway. So I mean, you don't lose him. He's still gonna be available there for Spence at 154 most likely, and hopefully, I won't even say hopefully. The pipe dream of going to fight Canelo at 168 just is a pipe dream from my perspective, and it certainly ain't going. I would be stunned if they announced next month that Crawford's going to fight Canelo. I would be absolutely what? Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, Mr. Greg. You said
Uh-huh.
that. I'm listening, Pharaoh.
No, I was just going to sneak in one real quick. How, how about EJ and Lara at 154?
Hmm.
It depends on how he looked.
Yeah.
I think it depends on how he looked if after he fight Crawford at 54. To me, he might, because if, and I gotta say this, and I love EJ, but we got to keep it real no matter who it is. If he take another whooping like that he took against Crawford, it might be over for him. I hate to talk like that prematurely, but I'm just saying I don't want. I've been trained and I'm programmed in the sport as an official with USA Boxing to think safety first, right? So safety first says it's no point of having this man who's gone through a lot of physical wear and tear, through multiple car accidents, one which was life-threatening. Um, the other issues that he suffered with a rib injury, the other issues that he suffered with a torn retina, the other issue that he suffered with cataracts in his eyes, the issue of whatever injuries that he sustained, even emotionally, in the fight with Terrence Crawford the first time, and then turn around and take another beating the way he did against the same fighter, he will become a shell of himself. And we've seen this in Deontay Wilder after fighting Tyson Fury 3 times. We've seen
Mhm.
this happen before. We've seen this happen with Mike Tyson being a shell of himself after dominating for years, like Errol Spence dominating for years. We've seen, I can go on and on and on with the list of fighters in the sport of boxing. We've seen this happen to who was dominating, and then they got in there and they got hurt really badly, and then go in there again and get hurt badly again. Now all of a sudden they just there just to get a check. It's just not. I just don't want to see that happen with EJ. Well, no fighter, but definitely not him. With all of the physical health issues that he sustained, from 2019 to now, in the last 5 years. You
I was
know,
just about to say, what if there's, and I believe it probably is, that there's something more wrong with EJ than just what has been revealed. I've always believed that there were some flaws there anyway, but I believe there's something else there as well, and it's just beginning to show. I think taking the time out, what they should have just did, and let him heal without the speculations of a hurried up getting a rematch was should what to me is what should have happened, but it didn't. But now it's going to anyway.
but here's
All the
the thing,
spec.
Mr. Greg. Terrence Crawford. But here's the thing, Mr. Greg. Even if you said if Crawford would have to wait till July, he would have to. You think he should activate a mandatory for the belts at 147? But here's the thing. Let's say he waits till July. Well, it's only 1 year that gone past, and we've seen when Terrence Crawford was with Bob Arum, he had no problem. He had no problem fighting once a year. You know what I mean? He been fighting once a year. Even look, he fought uh Sean Porter in November
It was
of
easier.
he fought Right, but I'm saying a year after he fought him in December of 2022, he fought November 2021, Sean Porter. A year later, David Ebenezer. A year before that, Kell Brook. So he's been accustomed to fighting once a year. So it should be no problem with him having to wait till July until EJ get his eye and everything or whatever else issues he got to recover from. It's still once
I
a year.
think the problem is that they're getting older. That's where I seen the problem at. If they were younger guys and they still was doing that, yeah, but they're getting older. So I don't care what kind of athlete you are,
Well, it's a
how
little bit
great you,
different.
huh? You're going to get older.
I was just going to say it's a little bit
Yeah,
different.
yeah, and it's
It's a
different. So
little
that's
different
why,
from Terrence Crawford at his age.
yeah, and that's why I'm
No, I'm talking
saying
about
he needs.
because
Okay, we
no,
still
what I'm
getting
saying, Mr.
delayed.
Greg, is yeah. It's a little bit different when we talk about getting older because even though Crawford's getting older, Pharaoh, he's looking younger. And the reason why, and I got to bring it up again, it's on your screen right now. You got to look at the screen, and we got to call it what it is, Pharaoh. The
I
SNAP
knew it was coming.
program works. And
I was waiting for
younger.
it, and I opened the door.
Listen, oh, you better believe it. I mean, he might be 35 or 36, but he's looking like he's 10 years younger. He's looking like he's Boots' age when he get in the ring with that snack. That's all I'm saying.
But in not Boots' age, and I think they need. I think Terrence need.
No, he,
I wish they had done it in December. I think if he can get, what's this, February? We're already going to February in a couple of days, tomorrow, as a matter of fact. If he can, if a fight can be made in April, make it. And I just think, regardless of the snack program, regardless of how he looks, you gotta stop this. If you're gonna be in this game for a few more years, 1 or 2 more years, you're gonna have to get fights sooner. That's what, because the injuries that Terrence is gonna get, and he may have even gotten them, we just don't know, is always in training. We already know. I mean, what I
yeah,
know
well,
about Crohn's disease and being anemic, I know the ill effects of that. And granted, because he's an athlete and he's lived cleanly and so forth, it has helped him tremendously. But he's still getting older, regardless of how well he takes care of himself, and he wants to get out. But I only think he had 2 more fights left for him anyway. This is my opinion, where he can fight at the highest level before he really starts declining. But if you start waiting and then you fight, it's not going to look as good to me. I could be wrong, and I hope I am. But I just wish that my idea, I should say, is they fight. If he fights someone that everybody can be happy with, but he has to be happy with, in March or in April, EJ still probably won't be ready until July. That's how I'm seeing it. So they can
that's great.
still fight in
That's great
September.
timing. That's great
Yeah.
timing.
Yeah, so all of that can happen. I mean, this is, again, we speculating and so forth, and that's how I'm seeing it. But hearing that Charlo is available, who's to say? They might be quietly talking. We don't know. I hope we hear that. Just like Toussaint just told us today, Charlo said he's back. Maybe next week we'll be hearing Terrence and Charlo was already, put the paperwork together, and Al's already okayed it, and we'd be like, damn.
No, y'all would be like that, Crawford fans, because EJ said he was back too, Mr. Greg. He's back. He said he was back too. So Crawford needs to just wait until July. Both of these guys will be out for a year. Like he's been fighting once a year. That's what I say.
Well, he might have to,
because I think it's good. We don't need no excuses the next time around. So let's make sure
and I was
Errol
basing
Spence is
that.
fully healthy.
I was basing that on hearing that. I'm sorry. No, I was just basing some of what I said on hearing that the fight between Crawford and Spence was officially just off. So I don't know if that's true or not. But I was basing it on just the speculation that there's not even going to be a rematch. So I don't know.
Which fight not going to be a rematch?
No, Dan Rafael in his reporting has said the rematch between the two of them was off. It wasn't going to happen at all. So I don't know if that's true or not, but I was just basing that off of what he has said. He said the rematch between Spence and Crawford was officially off, which means there's not going to be a rematch.
Yeah, well, no disrespect to Dan Rafael, and I appreciate the contributions he's made as a reporter in this sport. But here on the Roller Tape podcast, and I've been saying this since the beginning of 2024, we do truth and evidence. So if he's going to say that publicly, we have to demand him to provide evidence for us to truly believe that. Not saying he's lying, but
that's
no
why
more,
I call
no
it
more reporting in
speculation.
2024. We just report.
Yeah,
Yes,
I just call it
allegedly.
speculation.
You know what I mean? He got to come with some evidence.
I get you.
Double salute to my guy. That's who I was trying to double salute. I was trying to double salute my guy. He's a member of the channel and also a supervisor of the Roller Tape film crew. And I'm talking about my guy, Aaron Muhammad. It just so happened that as I was trying to salute him, because I noticed him in the chat, the super chat popped up. And so great timing happened for Aaron. And this is a super chat from him. Manager Marty, history should tell us if Bud had an option to get around the rematch with Errol, he would have already done it. Bud has no right to complain about waiting on EJ, period. And I have to totally agree with that because we got to keep it real, Mr. Greg. Errol Spence been waiting on him time and time again when he was stalling for this fight in the first place, whether it be because he was being advised by Victor Conti or not, you know what I mean? Whether it be because he wanted to tune-up fight with David Evanesian or not. Bottom line is he snaked the PBC and Al Heyman and Errol Spence in the negotiations when they sent him legal documentation, not once, not twice, but even the revised version 3 times. So if he got to wait a few more months, he'd be all right. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. That's just
Well,
my
I haven't
opinion
heard
on
him
that.
complain. This is just how I see it. But I would love for us to see.
Well,
go ahead. Hey, 2 cents.
No, come on, talk. You got it, Mr.
No, I would love for us to get the whole complete story of this saga between PBC, Earl, and Bud. Because we got versions, we got pieces, we're hearing new information, we've seen things that we probably knew before, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm just saying in general, I would love to get the whole story from beginning to end. And I think what we're going to get, if that ever happens, something that none of us have really thought did it actually happen. We see some of the things, but putting it together, did anybody even think about, for instance, that Earl had cataracts? No. That was the one thing we heard about, possible rib stuff and weight and all of that. Nobody ever heard anything about cataracts and how long that had been going on. So I'm just saying pieces like that put the story in a bigger, bolder, or fuller perspective. So I'm thinking there's other pieces with the negotiations, what happened, what didn't happen. We don't know either. So I'm just hoping that one day we can, maybe next year, maybe 4 or 5 months from now, can say, okay, well, darn, this is what happened. Okay, now we see the whole picture. Right now, the whole picture ain't there. I don't see Bud complaining. I'm the one that just wanted to see, but Earl got a heel. Bud needs to fight. I'm saying go ahead, take a fight. Everybody else said just wait for Earl to heal. That might still be what happens.
Got you. Well, we got 2 cents boxing here. 2 cents. What's going on? I don't know if she can hear us.
Her mic is mute.
What up, fellas?
Hey, 2 cents.
Can y'all hear me?
What's up, 2 cents?
Yeah.
Yes.
What up? I just want to hop up here real quick and drop my little 2 cents in on the conversation. Um, First, I wanted to say that I wanted to ask Manager Marty this question. Well, first, let me say we still
Yes.
don't really know when Spence got that eye surgery. It's still all speculation. So we can't.
We lost
Two
you two
two cents.
cents.
Oh man, she jumped off. She'll be back. Sometimes her phone does that, and she does not have Boost Mobile for any Terrence Crawford fan that want to try to get back at her with the Boost
Hey,
Mobile.
Marty,
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. When is the why Tusa's Gary come back on? When is the full interview? The Tim Montgomery is when are you putting that back up this week or it's going to be next week?
I haven't decided yet,
Okay.
but I will put out the full interview very soon. Haven't decided yet.
Yeah, I'm so mad I had to leave because it was just compelling to me, and I'm mad. I tried to leave my computer on because I'm on my desktop here. I just left it on, thinking when I come back I could just roll it back. It's like no video not available.
Yes, sir. Dig with 2 cents right there. 2 cents. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I got a phone call. It knocked me off.
All right.
Okay, so I was just saying, like, one, we don't know when Earl. We don't know when Earl got the eye surgery. We still don't know. It hasn't been confirmed. We still just assuming. So to keep saying that Bud has to wait on him to heal, we don't really know that. And also, Earl Spence hasn't came out and said anything about the rematch as far as it not happening or him don't want it. He don't want it, and neither has PBC. So I'm just curious as to what is the deal. Like, why wouldn't they just come out and say, "All right, y'all, the rematch not happening"? Why would it be, oh, Crawford can fight Zoo, or why would news outlets like ESPN and other boxing pundits put out, oh well, Crawford is going to be fighting Canelo after Canelo? Like, what is up with the propaganda? Like, why are they doing that? I'm trying to understand the agenda behind it because we know it's a contract. And it doesn't matter how Crawford feel. It doesn't matter if he's like, oh, I don't like the way Spence handled the loss. I don't want to fight him. Like, that don't even make sense, first of all. And it's a contract. It doesn't matter how anybody feels. If Spence wants the rematch, it was up to him to decide. He gets the rematch. And if the injuries are true and Earl Spence had all of these things going on, no, we don't know if he a diminished fighter. We don't know that. It's yet to be seen. We have to see that. But I think it's odd for people to say, oh well, Spencer's gonna get hurt worse in the second fight than he did in the first fight. Bud gonna put him in the hospital. And I'm thinking, like, if Bud couldn't put him in the hospital with cataracts, rib injuries, running in the mountains and then get acclimated, what makes y'all think that the fight will be worse the second time if he's not dealing with all those things? And if Bud couldn't knock out Spence, I'm not talking about a TKO, I'm talking about knockout or 1 through 10 count. What make people think that he's going to move up to 168 pounds and be competitive or be able to hurt or knock out Canelo? I just don't understand the logic. So everything that's going on to me right now, it just seems like a deflection. I'm not sure because think about it. Bud was like, I want Canelo, I want big money fight, and then all of a sudden that switched when Tim Tszyu became available, and it was like, oh, legacy, I'll be a 4 division champion. So he's not even being consistent in the things that he's saying that he wants. So I'm just confused. Like, I just want to hear what y'all thoughts is on that because nothing that's being said as far as Crawford is concerned is making sense. Spence came out. He said he had injuries. He said he fixing them. He said he had to get surgery. He put up a post about him being in the gym. He said he wants a rematch, and that's all we've heard. All the deflecting and the distracting and all of that is coming from Crawford's side. And I don't understand why. I've really been trying to sit here and pick my brain and try to be like, man, what is the agenda? Why would they be doing this? Are they trying to see if the fans will be interested or like what is it? Like, I don't get it.
I believe some of that is what you
I can
said,
tell you
but that's
exactly.
what That's what speculation does to Sid. You got a lot of wishful thinking. You got a lot of reporters saying things pretending as though they know what they're talking about. You have people taking bits and pieces of information and turn it into the entire narrative. I think there are some fans of Crawford who are saying different things to lean toward this fight not happening and Bud's going to really hurt him and things of that nature. But I also think you have to look at, in terms of talking about the health issues that could be, Spence was badly hurt. Just because he can walk and talk doesn't mean he's still not hurt, and doesn't mean that if he goes into the next fight, that could be just as uh, challenging as this fight was. Doesn't mean he can't really. It really makes me think he could get hurt worse because he's been hurt badly. And I've seen fighters who could fight, and the next thing you know, they in the hospital 2 or 3 months later, or maybe sometimes 6 months later, but it was a result of what happened 6 months earlier. So, but all of it is speculation though, but you got to take the things that you hear, the things that you see, and what he said, and everybody will put it into a package and say what they want. And that's what's happening here. And until we get the whole story, because I've already said PBC has not said what Dan Rayfield has said. So yeah, that's speculation too. But when it comes from somebody who has access to an audience and somebody who seems to be real respected in the field of boxing reporting, you tend to give it a little bit of credence, even though you still say, well, it hasn't been official yet. But that's how it starts. That's how rumors get started. Sometimes there's some truth to rumors. Doesn't have to be completely true. For all we know, Bud and Spence won't fight until July. All we know, Spence may say, hey, we're ready to fight in April. But we can only speculate. And unfortunately, whatever sides dominates the conversation is the side you're going to hear.
Well, I would have to disagree. I don't give credence, excuse me. And one of the things that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to start a new generation of all of us as boxing fans, not to give credence. I don't care who's reporting on it. I don't care if the person got a bachelor's degree in reporting or just a regular YouTuber who has a channel. We don't give any credence moving forward to just words. We got to look at if the reporter, whether it be YouTuber or not, say this is what's going to happen or this is what I heard and sources say. You got to come with evidence now. No more just saying sources say and hiding behind wordplay. You got to bring evidence nowadays, so it won't be any rumors. And I believe that is more devious than what we think. I think it is an opportunity for people to use this as a slight on Al Heyman. I mean, think about the same usual suspects. Every time something like this go down, when it comes to a PBC fighter, you got people saying, "Oh no, Terrence Crawford gonna fight Tim Tszyu, and this and that's going to happen." Then in the second fight, this no. What it is people are hating on Al Heyman. When I say people, let me be a little bit more specific. I mean entities, because they're all his competitors. Look at Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum. Okay, they already came out talking about the issue that they had with him dropping this card on Amazon Prime. Everybody's being so critical and not looking at the business aspect of it in a positive light. And it's only because it's Al Heyman. If it was Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum them striking this big deal with Amazon Prime, you wouldn't hear this type of rhetoric, you know what I mean? But it's because of his Al Heyman, and he got all his product over there. Are Boost Mobile and Android, and the competitors, they all have Boost Mobile product. All of them. That's why you can't find no competitors in none of the welterweight division, the 154-pound division. All of the hottest fighters are over there on PBC. We got to call a spade. And if you say Terrence Crawford's a hot fighter, he over there with him too.
Well, you got to also remember this too, Marty, which is always true. Whoever has the biggest name, whoever has the biggest shine, everybody else below them, or on the side of them is try to get that spot. So that would happen regardless. Yeah, I'll be the first to say too. Yeah, PBC gets criticized. All promoters should get criticized, but they get it more because they are the biggest. See, if Golden Boy was there, they'd be at least some people be trying to get at him. But right now it's Al Heyman. He don't just have the biggest light. He has some of the best fighters in almost all of the divisions. So yeah, everybody's taking shots because they want to be in that position, just like they taking shots at you. Think about it. They want to be in that position. They want to be the ones who had got that interview with Victor Conte twice. They want to be the ones who got that Tim Montgomery, Harvey Dock, etc. So when you're in the forefront, yeah, you know everybody behind you, they're gonna stab you in the back if they can. They're gonna throw rocks at you. They're gonna try to trip you up. So Al Heyman and PBC I'm sure they by now have accepted this is the lot. This is the price you pay for being at the top of the game. And that's what's happening there. And so, of course, everybody else below, even some of the fans, they're going to, without even knowing it, they're going to be affected by it. The people who don't like Al Heyman or don't like some of the fighters over at PBC and don't like some of the things that's happening, that's just fuel to criticize and maybe take shots because they'd rather, well, I like Eddie Hearns better in his stable, so I wish he was up there. But Eddie Hearns don't have those people.
Let me respond to that, Mr. Greg, because that's another thing. Like when PBC dropped, this is the first thing I want to say. Last year, PBC was going out of business. They going out of business. They going out of business. Then they announced the Amazon deal, and then they announced their card, and it's all this criticism. And I'm just thinking, like, well, shouldn't y'all be excited? Because just last year they was going out of business. Now they dropping a whole pay-per-view card. And so everybody's complaining, and I never see this type of complaining about any other card on any other network. And let's be honest, the Zone and Top Rank rarely have just the greatest cards. Like, if we're honest. And
Right.
to me, it's just as simple as don't buy it. Like, I don't understand why people talking about it's a trash card. You got Tim Zoo fighting, or he should be like, listen, guys, you are the consumer. You have the option to purchase the card or not. Al Heyman don't have soldiers in your house with guns to your head making you purchase the PBC card. So how can you continuously be so upset and complain about how they giving you trash pay-per-views and they doing this and ruining boxing when you have the option of buying the card? Like, I just don't understand it. Nobody has said nothing about that trash schedule the Zone put out. It's trash. I don't even know half the fighters on there when I looked it up. Nobody is saying anything. So this constant attack on PBC, no matter what they do, mind you, just last year they were going out of business. They got a whole new network deal, and they dropping a card, and they're dropping the paper. They got a card that's pay-per-view. People should be excited. Oh wow, I thought they was going out of business. I can't believe they pulled it off. I can't believe Al. That should be the rhetoric, not you complaining about what they're putting out. And it's the same thing I'm seeing with this obsession about who Tank is fighting next. I just don't get it. Like, every week is something they making up. Oh, Tank fighting this person. Oh, Tank and Frank Martin gonna fight in the UK. And some of this stuff doesn't even make any logical sense at all. Like, I would feel dumb just repeating it. It doesn't make any logical sense. And I'm just like
That's what it is. Since fight fans are not rational.
But see, it goes deeper. It
Yeah.
goes deeper. And when I talk about entities and I talk about people that keep doing this, to my point, remember, like Two Cents said, people were all over YouTube. I'm talking about the haters of PBC. I'm talking about the detractors of PBC. I can call them by name because I don't know all of them, but we know a handful of them that strike PBC down every time PBC does something. All of them were saying PBC is going out of business. PBC is going broke. They were saying PBC was going broke before the Crawford and Spence fight. And I got right on here on this podcast and told them that PBC is not going broke. We had Rick Glaser come on this platform. Everybody was here, they heard him. And Rick Glaser himself, this is what he said. He told the audience that ESPN have a bigger and larger budget than Showtime. And I told Rick Glaser to his face while he was here, that's not true. And he said the reason why it's true is because PBC does an average of 18 fights per year. If some of y'all remember this, he said PBC did 18 fights or an average of 18 fights per year, and ESPN is doing 66 fights per year. And some people who don't understand the concept of business or the business of boxing, they were echoing his sentiments, running around saying, yeah, see, Manager Marty don't know what he's talking about. Rick Glaser schooled him. PBC only do 18 shows a year, and ESPN did 66 shows a year, and they have a bigger budget than Showtime. Then I came right on live when after Rick Glaser ran off and had that temper tantrum. I came right back on here, spent the block, and used it as a teachable moment. If ESPN's budget, I'm just using this as an example. If ESPN budget is $10 million for 1 year, and Showtime gave PBC a budget of $10 million for 1 year. I'm just using this as a reference, y'all. Hear me out. ESPN is with Top Rank. So ESPN gave them $10 million for 1 year to put on a list of shows for the whole year. Showtime gives PBC $10 million for the year. This is just simple arithmetic. If both networks gave both promotional companies the same amount of money of, let's just use $10 million a year. If one promotion company is putting on 66 fights and the other promotional company is putting on 18 fights, a fraction of the 66, we know how much more the fighters are getting paid with PBC doing 18 fights compared to 66. Am I making any kind of sense here? So what I'm saying to you is, say it again, Greg. You was on mute, Greg. Say it again. Hold on, Greg.
I got it.
Oh, there you go.
I was saying all you got to do is figure it out. I mean, it's to me, it would be clear. 66, and you got using 10 million for 66, and you're using 10 million for 18. You know the fighters over here are getting paid more. So where's the problem? The fighters over here who are getting paid less are seeing the fighters over here getting paid more. Now they're looking at you. How come we getting this little bit of money over here when the guys over there is getting paid? We see them driving the Rolls Royces and the Lamborghinis and wearing the gold jewelry. We ain't wearing none of this stuff over here. So what's the problem? The problem is they don't want their fighters seeing what's happening over at PBC and how well they're getting paid.
Thank you. And that's why Rick Glaser, you're proving my point because I was driving home right there, Greg. And that's why no, you're all right. Come on, this is about education. And that's why Rick Glaser had a problem with me when he said them fighters over at PBC are getting overpaid. Remember, that was his whole point. They're getting overpaid over there. Wait a minute. What are you talking about? You're only saying that because the fighters over there that's fighting under Top Rank banner, they're not fighting the same level of competition at PBC. So those fighters are supposed to get paid. They in harder fights over there. Listen to what Adrian Broner told us last year. He said it the best. He said, listen, I'm glad I'm with BLK Prime because you're going to get paid when you fight over there at PBC. But you're going to have to go fight Godzilla. That's what he said. Because think about it like this. all them fights that Top Rank got, let's say it's 66 fights out of it. You ain't gonna see no Castano fight no Charlo twice type of competition over there on ESPN. You ain't gonna see no Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence type of competition over there with Top Rank or Oscar De La Hoya or Matchroom or Queensberry. No disrespect to them, but I got to throw them all in the pot because they disrespecting the movement of what's going over there at PBC and the fighters and the competition that they have over there to justify them getting paid the amount of money that they're getting paid. You're not going to see that level of competition for them to justify. That's why they got a $10 million budget. They can do 66 fights because they paying the fighters little peanuts. It's very simple. So what I'm saying is, not only do the fighters see that, Greg, but the promoters, they see that too. You don't think, hey, listen here, you don't think if ESPN and Bob Arum's contract was about to expire, you don't think Bob Arum would run over to Amazon Prime and go get a check from them? You don't think if Eddie Hearn was about to have his contract with DAZN and that network expired, you don't think he would run over to Amazon Prime and go ahead and make a deal with them too before it expired? Of course they would. But because they're locked in to the peanut deal, they ain't got the product to justify getting paid with Amazon. Amazon wants you to show me you got to justify me having to cut you a check for $10 million. Justify it. Show me the product. Show me the level of competition. Show me the titles that y'all gonna put on the line for. Show me. Show me with evidence in black and white that if I paid you $10 million, number one, I'm going to be able to recoup my initial investment and then make a profit. Show it to me. And Al Heyman does show ESPN, because most people forgot that PBC and Al Heyman aired on ESPN. That was the first network that they aired on years and years ago in 2015. Mm-hmm. People forgot about it. They show NBC. They show Spike. They show Bounce. Yeah, listen now. They show Fox. These are all the networks that they were on. And don't forget, now, Rick Glaser jealous, talking about he used a lot of Waddell Reed investment money. So what? He paid for those slots. Yeah, that's how he got over there at Showtime. He didn't just walk over there and get a big deal. He was paying for TV time with that money to promote his product. And it worked. And guess what? Now the product is secure. And now the networks are saying, we're ready to do a deal with you now. You ain't got to pay for TV time. We're going to cut you a check for the licensing fees. This is good business. How can you hate on this type of business model and structure if you're a fan of the sport of boxing? So what that shows me is all of these channels, they're not fans of sports of boxing. They're fans of only sports. They're only fans of boxers and people who they think who is basically movers and shakers in the business, and they're really not. Mm-hmm. It's very simple. That's why they hate on PBC and Al Heyman. That's what it is, 2 cents.
And that's what I was saying, especially when the whole Saudi thing was coming out and everybody was like, oh, Saudi gonna save boxing, Saudi gonna save boxing. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Last year, they had a pay-per-view that did 1.4, 1.6. Earl and Crawford did between 650 and 750. Charlo and them did, 600, 650. What are they saving? You mean they're saving DAZN and Top Rank? Because boxing don't need saving. PBC puts, and the obsession with PBC going out of business when they put on the best card, I don't get it. And Bob Arum, they said Bob Arum ESPN deal is up at the end of this year. I believe they said it's up at the end of this year. So are we going to see videos all year about how Bob put ESPN out of business? Bob ain't got no more money. Are we going to see those videos because his contract is up? No, you don't see those videos. Listen, Marty, I try to see different people's perspectives so I can kind of see where they're coming from or see, oh, that's why they think that. But this right here, it just absolutely makes no sense. And I don't understand how people fall for it. And it's to the point now to where I can start a conversation with somebody and I can tell who you listen to. I can tell what channels you watch. I can tell where you're getting your information from. And you're not even thinking about what you're saying out of your mouth. You're literally just regurgitating the information. I go around to different channels and I listen and then I think about it. and I put it in perspective. I see if it makes sense. I see where it could have came from. I try to figure out the agenda behind it. But these people are literally just running around here repeating this stuff, and I wonder, does it really have an effect? Does it really have an effect on what the promoters think? Does it really have an effect on the fights that are made? Because I feel as though if it didn't have an effect, then they wouldn't do it. And just like Bill got exposed the other day for paying channels to promote propaganda for him. And I know we had been saying that, but it was confirmed by Mill City when he went on Mill City's live and then had a channel post something for them on their Instagram where he edited it and made it look as though Mill City said something but didn't put the whole clip up there. And Mill City came on Fanon's channel and he was just like, man, listen, that ain't what I said. He literally was going around different channels trying to clear his name because he's like, that's not what I said. Bill edited the video. I tried to contact the guy and the guy was telling me, oh, he don't know if he could take it down. He got to ask Bill and talk to Bill about it. And I was like, wow, like, I don't think people understand. Like, it's one thing to pay a channel or pay content creators to promote your fighter or talk about, somebody got some feedback. It's one thing to promote your fighter or talk about how good your fighter is or say how your fighter could beat up this person, but to just spread flat out lies and propaganda, like, I don't think that that's cool at all. And I feel like people really don't understand how sinister and diabolical that is when you're using the power you have with these channels to tear down, spread lies, spread false narratives, not even your own narrative, trying to put a spin on it. Like, I get that, right? But you're just spreading false narratives, making people showing other fighters in a bad light, and intentionally going on people's channels, manipulating them to say certain things so you can edit it and repost it. Like, that's not cool at all. And that's a whole nother other level of what's actually going on here. I'm not saying anything can be done about it, but people just need to be, I hate to use the word woke, but y'all got to use y'all brain, man. You cannot let people manipulate you like that. Like, I don't understand how these people are so easily manipulated, but I get it because they be out here being so emotional. So if you're emotional, you're easily manipulated, and I see it, and it's just clear as day. And I don't understand why other people don't see through that.
They won't do the work
Yeah.
that you do, Two Cent. And it takes work
Well,
to be able to use your intelligence and pay attention and decipher the information that you get and see what's BS and what's real, and then sit down and come to a reasonable conclusion. Most people not doing it. They just sit there, take what's given to them, and run with it. So,
and the reason why they're not doing it is because they're idolizing a person. They're
mhm.
idolizing a person, and that's why go and check this out. This is, and I'm talking to everybody on this panel. You all have been up here. You all know how I am. The audience, I think everybody know how I am at this point on YouTube. There's certain channels that do this stuff because they're not going to hold the people that's doing this accountable. They're not. They're not going to hold them accountable. I mean, it's the same usual suspects. And I know people don't want to hear this, but y'all know me. I don't have no picks. We keep it all the way real. I don't know what happened with Mill City and Benon and Bill. This is the first time I heard about that from Two Cents. So what I'm saying is we know that there are content creators who receive their information directly from Bill Haney with no evidence. We know that. We know there's content creators who receive their information from Rick Glaser. We know that. This is all facts. We know that. We hear the propaganda that they keep repeating over and over again. We see the play. But here's the issue. The issue is that they're not being held accountable. I'll give a classic example, and I'll move the microphone to someone else. Let's use Bill Haney since Two Cents Boxing brought him up. Bill Haney says that his issue with Bernard Hopkins, and I'm not talking about their beef. I just want y'all to hear me out. His issue with Bernard Hopkins is because Bernard Hopkins said something bad about his son. When Bernard Hopkins did an interview, that interview that he's talking about last year, I didn't hear Bernard Hopkins even mention his son's name. He was talking about young fighters collectively. Bill Haney took that and ran with it, no problem. The issue I have with that from Bill Haney is if you're going to say that you're advocating for your son, you don't want people to speak bad about your son, then you can't go on other people's channel on YouTube and talk bad about somebody else's son. In fact, you can't go on YouTube and talk bad about someone else's mother. Remember, he was talking bad about Tank Davis's mother. Yeah, made some reference about that. So what I'm saying is we see that the propaganda continuously be basically accepted over and over again. And you know what's funny about all of this? The same people that put out these false rumors and these false narratives, they will not come over here. See, that's the thing about it. They won't come here because they know when I ask them questions that they're gonna have to sit down in the seat and answer, especially if you're saying that you're the business person. You know when you sit there, you're talking to a real business person that's gonna ask you certain questions and hold you accountable for the things that you do and say. I don't care if you're a content creator, reporter, trainer, it don't make a difference. We know where this is coming from. Time and time again, it's the same usual suspects, and nobody holds them accountable. But then when I speak on it, like when or 2 Cents Boxing here speaking on it, or any of you on this channel speak on it, you know what's going to happen in the comment section. All they hating, all they just saying is Manager Marty. No, no, no. Look at what's happening and call it what it really is. No disrespect to Bill, but Bill Haney knows exactly what channels he's able to jump on. Well, obviously, he have a relationship with those channels. I'm still waiting. And this is an invitation to Bill right now. Bill Haney, come on over here. Let the fans understand your movement. Because what is you looking like right now is opportunities. And if that's not what you are, you can clear your name right here. Because a lot of people allow Bill Haney to disguise it with he's promoting his son. We're not doing that in 2024, 2 Cents. Ain't no more of that. We're just going to say, no, 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 no. Stop with the nonsense. We see exactly what's going on. This propaganda been going on way too long, and we see the same content creators, the same usual suspects, and we see exactly who they're getting their narratives and information from, and they keep pushing it out there over and over again. And as soon as what happens, for instance, let's say if somebody say, oh, this person was supposed to fight this person. As soon as that don't happen, nobody spin the block on them and hold them accountable and say, well, who was your sources that told you this? When the whole time we knew who the sources were. 2 Cents, you had unmuted your phone. You was trying to say something?
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, like, before I started my channel, and I was like, what am I gonna name my channel? What am I gonna name my channel? And the reason why I named my channel 2 Cents Boxing is because I wanted it to be clear that what I'm saying is my opinion. I don't got no sources. I don't know everything. I don't got no experience as a manager, none of that stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to name it 2 Cents Boxing because I don't want nobody running around saying I said this or they got this misinformation from me, because I wanted it to be clear. This is my 2 cents. This is what I've been hearing, and this is what I think about it. Because it's not cool. And I don't know if it's an integrity gap or what exactly it is, but and I sit and watch these people intentionally misinform and put out this disinformation, and it's just not cool. Like, I would never do nobody like that. So I want everybody to know, if you hear me say something, you can take it with a grain of salt, because hell, I don't know. I'm just giving my opinion and what I think, just giving a common sense opinion and giving my perspective. And I'm also interested in hearing other people's perspective and what they have to say about what's going on. So I think that some of these channels, they need to either say that, or they need to stop putting out the misinformation, and they need to be called on the BS. Like, period. Like, I get it, some of it entertainment, whatever, you want to be controversial and all of that's cool, but to put this stuff out as fact, that's a problem. Like, collectively, I don't know. I guess it can't change or whatever. I guess it happens across the board, period, in entertainment. But I don't like it, and there needs to be a little bit more integrity involved in these YouTube channels. because these people are
Totally,
really
It's all
believing what you're saying.
totally
it's all
agree.
good, Nickel
What you
Slick. You already know we all respect your 2 cents.
Bandwagon in
yes,
the
sir.
building.
Hey man,
What up, Nickel
hey,
Slick? What up, Marty? What up, Greg? What's
Hey,
good
what's
with you,
going?
Ford?
What's good
Salute,
with you,
man.
big dog? Real quick, Bando, what's your take on all this? Since you just jumped on, you heard everything that I
Bro,
said, 2 cents said. What's your take?
I just jumped in. I just jumped in a little. I just jumped in just now. Honestly, when I hit the little when I was backstage, you know what I mean. But yeah, you know what I mean. Some YouTube channels, you know what I mean. They do be capping. You know what I mean. So that's why you got people like me. You know what I mean. When they wanna get mad at the people in the comment section, I'll gladly hit the link and tell them where they wrong at. You dig? So you gotta hold people accountable sometimes. You know what I mean. And then they get roasted a little bit. That's where we come in at. You dig? Other than that, but yeah, that's why I only watch a certain few channels. You know what I mean? I don't watch a lot of people's channels. I try to go for people that's unbiased a lot. And if I feel like they're biased on certain people, I won't watch them to hear what they have to say about those people.
I mean, but you're gonna have a bias, like unless you're a news station where you just report everything. Of course, you're gonna have a bias. That's a little unrealistic to be like, oh, I don't want you to have a bias. Everybody's giving their opinion and what they're thinking, really, because none of us really, unless you like manager Marty or whatever, and you've been in the business and you've done this and you can give straight facts. It's all opinion, and of course, you're gonna have some form of bias. The bias isn't the issue; it's the propaganda and the lying that's the problem.
that's going to remain. And the only way you can
Yeah.
combat it is the way that you have been doing so by paying attention to what's been said, to doing your research. Because you remember when I first asked you, yeah, when we first started coming on, I thought that's what you did for a living, because that's something that you still do. You pay attention, you listen, you do some research, and you come to a reasonable, informed decision. That's a particular talent, and that's something that many boxing fans either don't want to do the work to do, and sometimes it's not in their best interest to do that. So you're gonna have those kind of channels. Like I said, when I first started looking at boxing channels, it was really crazy, but it was the fans that I was paying more attention to, and the way they was threatening each other and all that craziness. But as as these channels are evolving, you started to see them copying. A lot of them are copying Marty now. A lot of them are trying to make some attempt, not all of them, some attempt to have a degree of integrity, but it's going to still take people like yourself who goes in a lot of channels just to listen and see what's going on, and then express an opinion that's informed, because there's a big difference between just running off with the mouth and how you feel, as opposed to having some intelligence and some real solid information that you then form your opinion on. So it's a big difference there. And the only way that's going to stop if they do get called out on it, like you're doing now, and you're saying what you're saying, somebody who's on another channel or or a podcast host has listened to what you said. Now I don't know what they're gonna do about it, but they now seeing at least you are one of the people out here who has called them out in the way that you have, without you haven't called any names, but they know who they are. And you just have to keep doing that. You have to keep coming to channels where it makes sense, where you're gonna get good solid information. And if something is speculative, people will say, in my opinion, based on A, B, C, D, and E. And that's all you really can do. The BS of people having their reputation smeared, people paying certain podcasters to say certain things or put a certain narratives out, is part of, which I hate saying this, but it's part of the corruption, because money can corrupt, and you get enough podcasters who are willing to slight information in a way because there's some benefit to them. That's going to keep happening too. You just talked about somebody. I didn't even hear. I don't think I've been on any of those sites, but again, you just gave an example of somebody who's in the game, Bill Haney, who has some influence with a particular podcaster or podcast, I guess, where he's getting a certain kind of tape or a video or whatever, a comment put out that works for him. What was in it for that podcaster to do it? That's the question. Same way if you go to a boxing commission or a ref and say, you know what, I need you to kind of lean toward my guy when they get in the clinch, chastise the other guy, not mine. So it has to be some benefits, and we're seeing it. Just like we see it in boxing sometimes. We make comments, we think somebody's doing something. Same thing is happening here, which is why it's important when you start to see it, as you've been seeing it, as Marty starts to say now, to start calling it out now, because once it infects the podcast, and this is the new frontier, once that infection sets in, it grows and it spreads. So be the kind of podcaster, be the kind of panelist who puts it out there. No, we ain't gonna do that. Just like Marty's doing it, you're doing the same thing, and that's what we're gonna have to hopefully see more of. And those are the kind of shows that we go on. That way, that crap that you just spoke about doesn't spread, but it is there, and gotta talk about it.
Pharaoh, what's your take on it all, Mr. Pharaoh?
I think each channel has its favorite fighter, and they're gonna do their best to support and promote that fighter. Me personally, I just want to see everybody fight who they're supposed to fight, or who we would like as the consumer. We would like to see them fight the way it used to be. Like when you heard that Mike Tyson was fighting, you knew he was going to fight somebody that we, the consumers, wanted to see. Whenever you heard Floyd was fighting, contrary to popular opinion that he ran, he cherry picked, he ducked, and he's boring, but he still fought the best in his era. You know, it wasn't no going back and forth and, I'm on this side of the block, I'm up the street, around the corner. Nah, dude fought. No, I mean, like Hagler, Leonard, Hearns, like the Four Kings, man. We need to go back to that. Boxing is a business, a very lucrative business at that. So it's definitely more or less about the money. But I want to take it back to when dudes fought for legacy. Like they had a point to prove, like, listen, I'm better than all of y'all, and I'm about to prove it. And they made those fights happen. That's just my take on it.
Okay, I respect that. Thank y'all. Jerome Washington, are you there?
Hey, Manager Marty, can I cut in real quick? As usual, it's town time, so I'm about to I'm about to get out of here. Salute, peace and blessings, y'all. I catch y'all on the next one. I'm gonna still be in the chat room though.
Have a good dinner.
Thank you. Always, thanks. Jerome Washington, are you there?
Yeah, you can't hear me?
I can hear you
Can you
now.
hear me?
I can hear you, but
Hello?
I can't see you. Can you hear me?
I'm outside. I guess it's dark. I don't know why you can't see me. I'm about to walk in my house in a second though, but I guess I'm outside and it's just dark. Yeah, I can hear you though. I can see you too though. Hold on. Matter of fact, I'm gonna sit in my car. Matter of fact, I can turn my light on in my car.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna let you see my face though. I ain't trying to hide. Man. Now, I just posted a chat in the comment and somebody told me to click a link, so I clicked the link. Really,
Well, you
I
said
ain't
this
never
whole
really.
you said this whole channel was propaganda and bias, so I told you to click the link
It
and
it
expound
is.
on that.
It is.
You
I
see
mean, I
how
done watched some videos. It is though.
Jerome?
What part?
What's up, bro?
You see him.
Huh?
You see how I'm chewing. You see how I'm chewing, Jerome. You see all that?
I,
Yeah, I'm ready.
yeah, I
Go
see
ahead,
you.
brother.
I'm looking at you.
Yes, speak on it. You said the channel is
No, no. Why I
propaganda.
say that? Because I mean, oh damn, somebody calling my phone. Somebody was calling my phone. But oh yeah, I did say that. Who that was telling me to click the link? Yeah, I clicked it.
I told
What
you
you
to
want
click
me
the
to
link.
tell you why I say that?
Yeah, what the propaganda, the bias? What you mean? I just want you to expound on that.
I mean, I ain't never been on your live, but I done watched some of your videos. I mean, it's a lot of propaganda, like all this. Bud been on snack because he beat Earl Spence. I mean, a lot of y'all just, I don't understand why y'all so hurt about that. I mean, it's a fight. Let that shit go.
Bud is on
Let me
It's
ask
snack, bro.
over.
That's a fact.
Well, let me.
He
Oh,
is
let
on
me.
snack. It's a lot of fighters on snack, but I mean, I don't hear nobody else say, oh, they cheating.
But
I
Jerome,
know Bow. What's up, brother?
you said that you watch my content, right?
Yeah, I don't watch some videos. I wouldn't say
So
all. I
you,
watch some videos, yeah, and I
all
really
right. So
watch them
you
every
have
after
to.
that. After what?
Okay. So you would have to agree, Jerome, that I mentioned everything about all the snack fighters thus far. You would have to agree with that, right?
I mean, I guess so. I mean, like I said, I ain't watched a lot of. I guess so. I mean, I heard you mention other fighters who on snack. Yeah, yeah, I did.
Okay. So that's not propaganda if I'm so I'm not just singling Terrence Crawford. I'm speaking on all the fighters that are on the snack program. But let's stick with Crawford since you brought his name up first. You agree that Terrence Crawford is on the snack program, right?
Yeah, he's a snack fighter. Yes.
Okay. So that's not propaganda. That is a fact. You would
Yeah,
agree
that's
with
a
that, though,
fact.
right?
But Devin Haney, is a lot. With Demetrius Andre, I think Jerron Ennis. It's a lot of people on the snack program. It's a lot of people you see with the snack shirts on.
Right. But I spoke on the ones that are actually in the program and whose performances have been enhanced. I've spoken on all of them
How
thus far.
how would you say his performance has been enhanced? Terrence Crawford got 40 fights. He got 31 knockouts.
Yes. And that
So
didn't stop him from calling Victor Conti.
okay, but what's the point? I mean, he got 31 knockouts. He been on snacks for what? Maybe the last 3 fights. What about the other fights?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get you to. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. The last 3 fights, he was with the snack program, but before that, everything that he was doing seemed to be working. So then, why would he go over there in the first place if everything was working out of 37 fights?
Why would he go? Man, probably wanted to try something new. But they say they spent over 40,000 on drug testing, so he was tested. So it's not like the
Who
snack
was
program is
tested? Whoa, wait,
illegal.
wait, whoa, whoa. Who was tested, Jerome?
Bud was Bud was tested before the fight. Everybody, both of them was tested. What you mean?
Was he? Hold on. Do you have evidence
So
that
so he
Terrence
wasn't
Crawford?
tested?
Jerome, hold on, brother. Let's talk now. Because you called it propaganda
Yeah,
on
we
this
talking.
channel. I got to defend my channel and I got to defend the roller tape film crew over here. You said that Terrence Crawford was tested. So I'm asking you, when was he tested?
Yes, bro. I don't know the dates, but everybody say he was tested the same as Earl Smith was tested.
Okay, everybody say, we don't go by hearsay over here, Jerome. We need
Well,
evidence
what
when
you
we talk.
going by then? What are you going by? Well, Errol Spence wasn't tested, so I mean, you making no sense.
No, I'm making
You
sense.
really
Listen
make
to me. Okay, let me bring you up to speed.
no, you're
All right.
not.
Okay, all right, all right. Let me bring you up to speed. So the last time that VADA publicly acknowledged that Terrence Crawford was tested, it was in November of 2020. This was before he went to SNAC. His first fight with the SNAC program was when he fought Sean Porter. I asked Victor Conti, hold on. I asked Victor Conti. I can pull it up right here on my iPad if you don't believe me. Victor Conti was here. I asked him, was there testing for the Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford fight? And at first he said, I think so. He said there was a muzzle rule on PBC fighters. So I said, okay. That's why VADA's not acknowledging them publicly on the website. Cool. But I said, hold on, before I let you get that, Victor. Terrence Crawford was not a PBC fighter. He was a top-ranked fighter at the time that he fought Sean Porter in November of 2021. So I asked him, was there a muzzle rule on Top Rank? He told me no. So then later on down the line, he specifically came out and said, well, Top Rank, they don't have a muzzle rule on their fighters. I said, I agree with you because Shakur Stevenson, Lomachenko, and some other fighters over there with Top Rank, VADA has publicly acknowledged them on their website. And you know what he came out and said? Well, maybe there wasn't any testing for that fight. Now, this is coming from...
maybe he don't know. He's not the fighter.
Jerome, let me finish.
That makes no sense.
Thank you. So this is coming from the anti-doping advocate. This is coming from a guy who was on this channel who told the whole entire audience that his job is to protect his fighters. His job is to make sure the other guys are not cheating. His job is to help enroll the fighters in VADA testing. But yet he's telling me he don't know if it was VADA testing. So I said, I'll tell you what.
Because Terrence Crawford signed to PBC for the fight. So if it's a gag order, then it's still a gag order. You're not making no sense. I'm listening to you, brother.
Jerome, you're not
making sense. Not making sense.
You're not listening to me. I'm not talking about the Errol Spence fight. We're going to get there in 1 second. I just said Sean Porter versus Terrence Crawford. Okay? So I have evidence where I asked Victor Conti, can you find out whether he was tested or not since you helped form VADA? You got the personal contact information of Margaret Goodman, the founder of VADA. And guess what? 3 weeks later, he still don't have evidence from Margaret because he told me in the email she ain't reached back out to him yet. So that's so we see. So hold on. We see it wasn't no testing for that fight. So I asked him a second question. I said, was there testing in the David Ebenezer fight? You know, I'm talking about the David Ebenezer fight Terrence Crawford had when he knocked him out with one punch, put him to sleep, out cold. And you know what? And you know what Victor told me? It was limited tested. It was limited testing because the promoter, Desmond Gums of BLK Prime, he didn't have enough money to do the full VADA testing. So I asked Victor. I said, well, you're the anti-doping advocate, and Terrence Crawford is in your program. You could have paid for the testing, correct? Like you said you did for Nonito Donaire and Edward Rodriguez. Like you said you did for Caleb Plant when he fought Canelo. You could have paid for the test, right? And he said, yeah, you're right. I could have paid for the test. And he didn't. And guess what? VADA still did not have Terrence Crawford on their website as being tested as of December of 2022 when he fought David Ebenezer, and the promoter of BLK Prime does not have a gag order or a muzzle rule. So there's nothing preventing them from publicly acknowledging that Crawford has been tested. Now, I'm going to stop right there. Because of what I just told you, everything I said was facts to you. Can you adequately say, unequivocally, that Terrence Crawford has been tested by VADA for the David Ebenezer fight and the Sean Porter fight?
You can't say that. I mean, you going off. You say that they didn't contact them back. I mean, I can't say it, but you can't say it neither. I mean, I can't say it, but you can't say it.
Just answer the question, Jerome.
I just answered the question. I answered the question. I cannot say it, but you can't either.
So if you can't say it, then how can you come up here and say that I'm spreading propaganda when I gave you nothing but facts in those two fights?
You is. I mean, it's clear as day. You is. I mean, listen. I get you got a channel. Everybody got their biases. I mean, but y'all, you just butthurt. What?
I'm not
Man,
here.
my light went off.
Jerome, I'm not here to defend what everybody else do. You said that this channel, I'm defending this channel and all of my
And I
supporters
am.
that come to this channel. So what I'm saying to you is everything I said to you is documented. All the information I just gave you is documented. I'm not telling you something that I thought. Everything I said to you is documented. Anybody can go on this channel and watch the full interview of what I said to Victor Conti. It's documented. So they're all facts.
And it's also
What I'm saying
documented
to
with
you,
Victor Conte say nothing he give you is illegal. That's documented too.
and guess what? He didn't provide us with no evidence, but I got evidence that he's been lying the whole interview. You want me to pull that out? Go look at the
Yeah,
short clips I
I guess I do.
Look at the
I
short
guess I
clips I
do.
was
I
putting out.
mean,
Hey man,
bro,
listen, I've been putting
you
out
gotta get over it, bro.
Jerome. What I'm trying
Yes,
to show
sir.
you is I've been putting out clips after clips after clips after clips, showing you inconsistencies, bro. What more do you want? And guess what? You
You've
ain't
been
find no
putting
other
out clips
YouTuber.
after
Hold on,
clips
Jerome.
of propaganda, bro.
No, it wasn't.
That's
It's
what you've been
fact
putting out,
after
bro.
fact after
And that's
fact.
what's funny. I mean, I watch the sport of boxing, so you feel me? I don't really say I got a favorite, but it's just crazy how
Did you hear me say
some
I
people
had a
just like
favorite?
a fighter in a tank,
Jerome, did
just
you hear me say I had a favorite
constantly
fighter?
huh? I mean,
Did you hear
I
me?
can see I can see who your favorite
I
fighter
just
is.
asked
You
you,
ain't got to
see,
tell
you're
me.
speculating. Jerome, for the same thing you're saying I'm doing, see how you said you can't say that he had testing either. So you're speculating. So you're speculating who my favorite fighter is. You didn't hear me, did you? You didn't hear me say who my favorite fighter is, did you, Jerome? Keep it real.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
All right, so you're speculating, bro.
I mean, hey, you are speculating. I mean, you're
I'm talking
speculating that
about you right
the
now.
man is dirty.
I'm
I
talking
mean,
about you right
you
now.
sit here saying the man dirty and the man never tested dirt.
When did you
Until
pull
somebody
up the
tests
clip?
dirty,
Hold up,
they not a dirty fighter. I don't care about
bro,
all you
bro.
conspiracy theories and I
Bro,
don't believe in that, bro.
when
Until
have
it's
you
brought
heard
to
me
light,
say? When have
brought to
you
light,
heard
I
me
don't
say,
care about that. When I heard you
Jerome?
say what? Go ahead, go ahead. When I
When
heard you say what?
Jerome, I see what's happening here. You're very emotional,
No,
bro.
go ahead.
You're talking
I
over
ain't
me. You're being
emotional.
emotional. You're being very
I'm
emotional.
never emotional.
You're being very. You're talking over me. You're being very. I see it in your energy.
No,
You're
cause
being very emotional.
it's a lag into when you talking and I'm talking, and when I hear you
Oh,
talk,
okay. I
brother,
got
I be
you.
quiet. That's all that
Okay,
is.
I respect. All right, I respect that. So I'm wrong. I apologize. I respect that. Now, when did you hear me say that Terrence Crawford was dirty? When you hear me say it, tell me.
You don't listen. You protecting yourself. You insinuating. That what you do. You're
Mm,
insinuating that he's a dirty fighter because he's with snakes. But I mean,
mm,
it's so many fighters with snakes. Why their performances are not the same though? Of all the
mm.
snake fighters, why everybody else ain't just knocking people out if it's
Yeah,
other fighters with snakes? They're not having the same results.
yeah, they are. But hold on, let me ask you something.
Who,
If I came
who?
out tonight,
Boo Boo, you seen Boo Boo Andre versus David versus yeah
see,
Benavidez? That's a
oh,
snake
bro,
fighter.
you skipping fights. Don't you skip fights and do that to
I'm
him.
not
Give
scared.
him his credit.
I'm just giving you an example of a snack fighter who that I ain't seen no power in that.
Did you see what he
Uh,
did before that fight when he fought Demond Nicholson? Did you see that?
That was a skill difference to me. I mean,
Bro,
bro,
what are you talking about?
when the fighter is more skilled, I mean, they can beat your ass.
All right. Did you see
I didn't mean
Caleb
to
Plant?
curse. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for cursing, brother. I'm sorry
No.
for cursing.
We men. Hey, listen, we get commercials inside the live now, so it's okay. Did you see
Okay.
when Caleb Plant knocked out Anthony Durrell with one punch and put him to sleep? You seen that?
Yeah, I seen it. I mean,
All right then. All right then. His performance was enhanced. All right then. You see what I'm seeing? Okay,
why his
now.
performance? So anytime anybody just put somebody to sleep with one
No, not
performance, they
anybody.
performance is enhanced. That's all
No,
I'm trying
not
to say.
anybody. No, not
Well, if
anybody.
you
Don't
catch
just put
somebody the
anybody.
right way, they gonna go to sleep. I mean,
All right. No problem.
that's why it's propaganda. Because I mean, you trying to think
No,
because somebody knock. It's plenty fighters who knock people out with one punch.
no problem. Now I want to ask you something. Because the fans of
Go ahead.
boxing that's listening to me, they know exactly what I mean when you say everybody, they know they know what type of snack fighters I'm talking about. Now, let me ask you something. If I came out tonight and right now in this minute, I got thousands of people that's gonna be watching me after this. If I come out tonight and say, Jerome, Terrence Bud Crawford is on the juice. He's cheating with steroids. How would you feel if you heard me say that right now? Tell me.
What's your evidence? I mean, I wouldn't feel no type of way. It's just to me, you can't just say that and people ain't been caught, ain't pop dirty. That's that's
So
that's my
you
thing.
all right, so
You
you
got to
would
pop.
ask me where's my evidence, right?
Yeah, you got to pop.
I'm
I
glad
mean,
you
don't
said
tell
that.
me, don't
No,
just tell me because you had a great performance that mean you was dirty. That's all I'm saying.
okay, got you. I'm glad you said that. Now I would ask you nicely, please, when I bring this example up, please don't interrupt me because it's something for you. I want you to answer. Now you just said if I came out in real time and said Terrence Crawford is on the juice, he's using performance enhancement drugs, and he's cheating. You said your question to me would be, where is your evidence? You would say
Yeah.
to me, well, how can you just come out and say that when you have no proof? Am I hearing that correctly?
Yes. Yes.
I'm glad you said that because you know why? I see the rules don't apply when it comes to manager Marty. Let me give you an example. Victor Conti is on record publicly on the Boxing Voice in the interview, and he said Manny Pacquiao, in my opinion, has been on performance enhancement drugs and illegal substances and steroids his entire career. And ain't
I've heard.
nobody told you.
I've
Hold
always
on
heard
for a
that though.
second.
Go ahead. I've always heard that.
Hold on for Jerome. You put both your thumbs up and said you wouldn't interrupt me. Thank you. You heard what that white man said, and you are not near one Terrence Crawford fan. Y'all never went over there, and y'all never challenged him by asking him for his evidence. And Manny Pacquiao didn't test dirty. Now stay right there. I got another example for you. Victor Conti was on this platform, and I asked him about EPO. I got all the evidence, and he told us what EPO is. And his words, not mine, Jerome. You know what he said? He said, when I see the results of EPO being used by fighters, when I look at them fighting the ring, he said, I look over and I see who they're associated with. And when I see who they're associated with, I immediately assume that that fighter's on EPO. So how come if he can say that about Manny Pacquiao and nobody challenged him, how come he can say that on this platform that when he see the results of EPO and he look and see them around, them meaning the fighter around suspicious people, he can say unequivocally that they on EPO. But here it is, I'm getting challenged about an insinuation and an undertone. But this man is directly saying things out of his mouth. You know, other Terrence Crawford fans challenged that man. And this is the same guy that your man Terrence Crawford hanging around with. And then when manager Marty says something, all of a sudden the rules don't apply. Why you being biased against me with Victor Conti, bro?
I'm not being lit. Okay, now my turn to respond. I'm not being biased
Yeah,
towards you. I
answer
mean,
the question,
I've
bro.
been. I don't. I'm answering the question. I don't say Pacquiao dirty. I mean, I've been heard that he's been dirty. I mean, from even before he fought Floyd, I've heard that Floyd thought everybody thought he took performance, but he's never popped dirty. He took whatever the needle test or whatever Floyd wanted to give him the blood drawn test, he didn't pop. So I mean, I've heard it, but I mean, he still has never popped. I mean, I never heard Victor Conti say this. I mean, I believe you saying this, but I mean, that's still his opinion. He's not telling you anything factual. He's just saying, "Oh, when I see such and such around him, I think he." I mean, okay, that's your thought. That's your opinion, and everybody's
You
entitled to
agree with
that.
it, though,
You
brother.
still
You
haven't given me
agree
no
with it.
evidence of Manny Pacquiao being dirty. I'm not a
But you,
Pacquiao fan, but there's still no evidence of him being dirty. I've heard that forever. But I'm
but
trying to get what
Jerome, you sound like you cool with Victor saying all that. But then when I say something that's real, I'm
I'm.
getting
I
criticized
ain't
by you,
say.
bro.
I ain't say I'm cool with Victor Conti saying that. Like I just told you, I've never heard that, but I've heard Pacquiao's been dirty. I've heard that before.
Bro, you said it's propaganda on the channel, but you didn't challenge Victor when he directly said stuff with no proof.
The propaganda more so on the on your channel is more so is for all the excuses of why Earl Spence lost. That's more so what I'm saying about. I mean,
I'm not getting
Snake.
excuses. I never
He
made
ain't
an
pop
excuse
dirty.
for him.
Man, it might not be you. It been some of you. Damn, I like keep. I'm about to walk in my house anyway. But it might have been. I'm dark because I'm going in the house and getting out my car. But it's been people like I forgot. It was I was looking at a video the other day of some dude and he coming up with every excuse in the world. I mean, hey, bro, if you step in that ring, you healthy. That's my thing. If you step in the ring, you healthy. It's about to be noisy for a second because my kid is watching TV. So hold on.
All I'm trying to get at while you just walked in the crib, what I'm trying to get at is when Victor Conti said all of that stuff he said, even on this channel, and all I've done was put out video after video with all facts, video, education video. I've been putting out educational videos, stuff that even your favorite content creator don't even know nothing about. I've been putting it out, video, bam, video, bam, video, bam, and I've been nothing but being criticized, Jerome. I ain't did nothing wrong, brother, but put out the facts.
I mean, it ain't no facts though. I mean, you putting out your opinion. I mean, that's not a fact.
I ain't telling you my opinion yet. You'd be surprised to hear my opinion. I've been putting out nothing but facts, brother. I ain't never give you my opinion. Now I gave you my opinion when I said I thought Spence would win, but anything outside of who gonna win and who gonna lose, I give you all facts on the channel. It's nothing but there's no propaganda here.
I mean, hey, to me, I see a lot of propaganda. To me, I mean, I see just a lot of excuse making, and I mean, the fight over. That fight 6 months ago. I mean, I don't understand why people just can't let it go. I mean,
but you didn't. Did you think Terrence Crawford was going to beat Errol Spence?
I actually did. I mean, I didn't think he would beat him in the fashion that he beat him, but I actually.
Why not? Tell us why not.
I mean, this is what I'm gonna tell you my honest opinion. I thought it was gonna be close the first. Maybe like 4 to 5 rounds, and I thought later in the fight Terrence was gonna stop him, but I didn't think Terrence was gonna dominate from the first round until it was over. I didn't think that, but I thought he was gonna stop Errol Spence. Errol Spence is flat-footed. He don't got a lot of head movement. If you don't just stand in front of him and just let him just throw punches.
Yeah, you see, you was being honest, Jerome, and I have to tell you to your face, I respect that. Because you said the same thing that every Terrence Bud Crawford fan said. You agree with me, because 3 days after the fight, I did a live. It's got over 11,000 views, live in living color. And I said, Errol Spence looked different, and so did Terrence Crawford. And every Bud Crawford fan knew that Terrence Crawford was not expected to look that dominating. So I'm glad you agree with me that his performance was
I didn't expect that. Yeah, I didn't expect that you feel me? Not from like the second round on. I didn't expect that. I thought it was gonna be a good fill out period because to me, Terrence take a few rounds to kind of see the rhythm and see what's going on. But I think
he walked right through him in that fight, didn't he? Didn't he, Jerome?
Yeah, I mean, he did. I mean, he must be felt, boy. Like you say, when he hit me, I'm like, oh, that's all you got. It's gonna be a long day. I mean, he must be really thought that. I mean,
hey. Sounds like performance enhancement to me. You agree with me, brother?
That don't sound like performance enhancement. That sounds like Earl don't hit as hard as y'all think he do.
Well, what that sounds like to me is that you're more confident than Terrence Crawford because you said Errol Spence was flat-footed. He don't move his head. He don't have this skill, all this stuff. But I
didn't say he don't have good skill. I just say he's a flat-footed fighter. He's just a come-forward fighter. He's not good counter-punching and punching off his back foot. That's what I felt. And I felt like Terrence Crawford wasn't going to be a stationary target. That's why I felt like Errol Spence was in for a long night and he was going to possibly get stopped. Because I just felt like,
You see what I'm doing? I'm lifting the phone up to the air. But all that stuff you saying about Spence, all those deficiencies, and I told Greg this, you ain't the only one. And I told Bandit this, he's here listening. You see what I'm doing with the phone? That didn't stop your man Bud from getting the phone and calling Victor Conti. Terrence Crawford called Victor Conti, and Errol Spence had all these deficiencies, but that didn't stop him getting on that phone saying, "Victor, help me."
He was with Victor Conti. He was with Victor Conti even before the Spence fight. So it's not like he called him before the Spence fight. You making it seem like he called Victor Conti once he signed for the Spence fight. No, he was already with Snack, and you just said that.
Yeah, Yeah,
So he didn't call him before the
I
Spence
know.
fight. As far as he know, the Spence fight wasn't gonna happen because the Spence fight should have happened years ago. But Spence, no, I'm gonna take the easy route. I'm gonna clean up on my side of the street. He should have did it four years ago before he got in the accident. But no, he wanted
Jerome,
to take the easy route, and you see what the easy
Jerome,
route got him.
Jerome,
That's on Spence. And then
Jerome.
what?
We're saying, if you listen to me, we're saying the same thing. Not about the Spence part, about the Crawford part. We're saying the same thing. Listen, he didn't call Victor Conti right before the Spence fight. You're making my point very clear. He called him 2 years beforehand. You see what's going on. Yeah, he didn't call him right away.
I mean,
He
you
didn't
still
call him
ain't making no
right
sense
away.
to me. I mean, you're
Huh?
not making no sense to me. Where it seemed like you're not making no sense to me. Because
Oh, I can't wait to when I
he was
jump.
dealing
Hey,
with Victor Conti before the Spence fight. I
I
mean, you
know.
just said
That's my
that.
point. I
So as
know.
far as he knows, the Spence fight was never going to happen because
Yes,
Al
it was.
Heyman didn't want the Spence fight.
No, I can show you an interview. Hey, listen, I can
Al
show
Heyman
you,
didn't want the fight.
Jerome, you a Terrence Crawford fan. I
I'm
can,
I'm not. I'm a boxing fan. I watch
here we go,
boxing every
another one of
weekend.
these.
I
All right,
watch
listen,
boxing every weekend, brother.
I
I
know,
mean.
I know. That's what every Crawford fan told me on this channel. But
I
Jerome,
mean,
I can
I am
pull
a
up,
fan of Crawford, but I mean, I put it like this:
no,
I don't have no favorite fight. I got
I
fighters who I
know,
like to watch. I like to watch Spence himself too,
I know.
but
So
I thought Crawford could beat Spence. I mean, I watch boxing.
I got you. But Jerome, I can pull up an interview right now where Terrence Crawford is on Joe Rogan and the Breakfast Club, and he said out of his own mouth that he knew this fight was always going to happen. I can pull it up for you.
So you saying? I mean, you still ain't making no sense to me. Okay,
I'm not making no sense. Hey, guess what? Everybody around Terrence Crawford, even his homie LC, came up here and told everybody and told me that the reason why Crawford went over there early, because Errol Spence was bigger and stronger than him. Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah, I
but
know.
I
Hey,
mean,
hey, hey, hey,
you
hey, hey,
still
hey,
ain't telling me
Jerome.
nothing that make him dirty. Nothing that made
Hey,
him
hey,
pop. He
Jerome.
ain't pop. So I mean, that's why it's
Hey,
still just propaganda because you just going off what you think. Oh, I think
no,
he
no,
went
no,
to
no.
Victor. You
Hey,
don't. You can't tell me why he went to Victor Conti. You just
no, I
assuming.
asked you. Hey, Rome, I asked
You,
you why
you're
he go over
assuming.
there.
I don't
No,
know.
I
I
asked you.
Terrence Crawford. I'm
No,
not.
I
I don't
asked
know
you.
why somebody would switch their training regimen. I don't know. I'm not a boxer. I'm telling you that, but you sitting here trying to tell me, oh, I know he did it just for Errol Spence. What?
Hey, listen, I can show you an interview right now, and I didn't want to pull this out yet because this evidence for 2 weeks from now. But I'm gonna give you a little smidget of it. I can pull out an interview right now that Victor Conti did 2 years before Terrence Crawford went to the snack program, and even he said that Errol Spence was bigger than Terrence Crawford.
I mean, that's common sense. I mean, Terrence
No, it
Crawford
ain't
came
common
from
sense.
130. Terrence Crawford was fighting at 135. Errol Spence was at 147 his whole career. And I think his first fight, he was like at 154, 150. Yeah, his first fight, he was heavier than he was at welterweight. So what is that saying?
You saying that Terrence Crawford was naturally smaller than Spence? That's what you trying to
Yeah,
say?
he was.
But in that fight, though, he was throwing him around the ring like he was real super strong in that fight.
He was a damn wrestler. What that mean? I mean, listen, and that's what's funny. I'm 155, 165. I got a homeboy who's 200 pounds, and I always put him on his ass. Every time we hook up and wrestle, I put him on his ass.
Do you think you'll be able to do that with somebody that's 400 pounds?
I ain't 400. That's a big difference. I mean, can I lift
Well,
their ass
Terrence
up?
Crawford, they told me Terrence Crawford deadlifting 400. You
I
said
done,
he's small.
I seen a video where he did that on the squats. I mean, I'm not a weightlifter, so I mean, I know I'm not doing that shit. I don't lift weight.
Let me show you something. I got to show you a picture of something real quick, and I ain't gonna hold you too long because I'm a father too, and I know how it is to have kids. Hold on one second. I want to show you a picture of something, show you how all this keep happening. Hold on, stay right there, don't move.
I'm
Go to
good,
where that
brother.
picture at. There you go, Rome. I can call you Rome, right?
Yeah, you good. That's what everybody call me. You good.
Okay, I got you. Look at your screen, Rome. Bam. You see that, Rome? The snack program work. The man deadlifting 400, and he's smaller than Spence. Lord have mercy, Mr. Greg, in 2 cents. Woo! That
I
snack
mean,
program work.
I mean, but I don't get what that's saying. I mean, because he lifted 400, that probably ain't got nothing to do with the snack program. I mean, he just a person who be in the gym. I mean, you can't tell me just because he on snack, that's why he lifted the 400 pounds. The man been a wrestler. The man probably been in the weight room. I'm not a weight room person. I felt that shit in gym class and all. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not lifting that shit. Me personally, I don't do all that. I run and exercise, but I ain't lifting no damn weights. But that's me. I mean, to me, that's still not. All this is an assumption. You are assuming because he lifted 400 pounds that the snack program helped him lift the 400 pounds. I still don't get that.
Jerome, you and I both know, Jerome, that if the snack program did not work for Terrence Crawford, he still would not be over there. You and I both know that. If that program not working,
Listen
he's
to
not
me,
going
man.
to invest his time still being.
I mean, it probably got some. It do got some benefit to him, but you're making it seem like it's illegal. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm not saying it didn't have any benefit to him. He wouldn't probably be doing it if it was no benefit. If there's no benefit
But
for it,
it was,
I mean, why do
well,
it? I
if it was
mean,
a
but
benefit,
what I'm
if
telling
there's a
you is
benefit,
whatever he did is not illegal. You're making it
but you
seem
don't have
as
proof.
it's
But you don't have proof. But you don't have proof of that. Just like I don't have
but
proof of
I was about
whether
to
it's
say, but
legal or
you
illegal
don't.
either.
So I mean, that's why you just keep insinuating it like
No, I
you
never said. Hold
know
up.
that.
I never said. Hold up. I never said it was illegal. You putting words in my mouth. You holding me accountable for things I didn't say. What I'm saying to you is
I
nobody has
didn't say.
ever did.
See, I didn't say
But
you
no,
said that. I said
but
you're
no,
insinuating. I mean,
I
you're
know.
painting the picture, and
No,
you
I'm
feel you
not.
get somebody just to
I'm
look at
presenting
that.
facts. I'm presenting truth
That's
and evidence.
that's not facts.
You
I
gotta go on my
mean,
channel. You gotta go on my channel.
me and you got a different opinion on what a fact is. A fact is something that can be proven. You can't prove that, so it's not a fact.
I can prove it if Victor Conti's on my channel talking about he got a therapeutic use exemption for his doctor, hold on, for his orthopedic surgeon to give injections to the fighters. That's what he said, brother. Don't get mad at the messenger. That's what that man told me.
Injections of what? I mean, whatever
I
his
don't know.
injecting
The
is not
man didn't
illegal.
tell us.
You that's why I keep telling you. You keep saying whatever he doing is still not illegal.
I don't
That's
know
what
that,
I'm
and neither
telling
do
you.
you. But
That's what
neither do
I'm saying.
you.
So you're insinuating that it
No, I'm
is.
not. Jerome, the man, listen, Bada did not put it out there from 2021 to 2023, all the 3 years that he's been with the snack program. Bada has basically made sure that they acknowledge that everybody else that got tested through them, except for Terrence Crawford. Why is that? I'm asking you.
I mean, I don't know. I don't get into that. All I know is he
No,
didn't
no,
pop, and
that's
from
not
what
the
I
right
know,
answer,
it
Jerome.
was
That's not the right. You're not being
thousands of
honest.
dollars. All I
Jerome,
know
I
is,
gave you wrong. I gave you credit earlier for being honest.
I mean,
Keep
I
it
don't.
honest. No, it's not. I don't know. See, I figured the Crawford fans out. Not all of them, but just a few.
How would
I
how
figured you
would I
guys
know?
out. It's not. No, listen. It's not that you don't know. When I say why did Crawford go over there to snack, y'all, you know what y'all say? Oh, I don't know. Well, why didn't Bada put him on the website if he was tested? I don't know. You know what it is? I'm gonna break the case. I'm solving the case right now.
Go
It's
ahead.
not that I don't know. You know what your real answer should be? Be honest. I
Well,
don't care. It's not that you don't
I
know.
don't
You
care if
don't
he
care.
pop
As
dirty. I
long
admit he pop dirty, but he
no,
ain't
no, no.
pop
Listen to
dirty.
me.
So
Listen to me. I
you're
figured
not
it
gonna
out.
make me
As
think
long, hold
somebody
on, hold on,
dirty.
hold on,
You
hold
ain't
on, hold
figuring
on.
nothing out. You just that's why I say you just
Wrong,
on some
wrong,
propaganda shit.
wrong. I figured it out. As long as Crawford beats Spence in your eyes, y'all don't care if he's with the snack program. Y'all don't care if he was tested for VADA. Long as he beats Spence. You don't care if he's with Victor Conti. You don't care about none of that. As long as
See,
he
that's
beat Errol Spence. I figured it out. Yeah, yeah,
hey,
yeah.
listen.
That's why you laughing.
I
That's
mean,
why you
I
laughing.
bet on the
Yeah,
fight.
I
That's
got
just
you.
who I pick. No, I bet on the fight. That's who I pick. See, that's why y'all just more too Spence
Yeah,
fans.
y'all
Y'all
don't
just
care.
too emotionally attached to it. I mean, it's not that I don't care. It's nothing came
You
out
don't
that he
care.
was dirty. So
You
you
don't
feel
care.
you
You're
trying to
wrong.
prove you trying to grasp a reason of why he did Spence like he did
No,
him.
I'm not.
That's exactly what you're doing. You're trying to come up with a reason. It had to be something because he couldn't have didn't know he beat Spence ass. I mean, skill level was different. I mean, you could have seen that 20 fights ago when they was talking in 17. You could have just seen the gap in the skill in the fighting styles is just all bad for Spence. It was all bad.
I'm not doing that. I'm raising awareness to show the audience that the rules don't apply to me, that apply to everyone else because people are biased and they're hating against me. And I'm going to show you how.
You're biased.
I'm about to show you. When Victor Conte said in Pacquiao's last 3 fights, I'm just telling you what the man said. He said in his last 3 fights, he believed that Pacquiao's performance was enhanced. So I waited. I sat down. Hold on.
Hold on. But listen. He ain't been working with Pacquiao, so he's just telling you.
We're not gonna do that. No. You're not gonna do that. We're gonna listen to my point. Hold on. I sat back and I waited till Terrence Crawford's 3rd fight. He fought Sean Porter, knocked him down more than anybody else. He fought David Ebenezer, knocked him out cold, something that he never did in the welterweight division. So I used Victor Conte's formula for his snack fighters. And I said, I'm going to wait till Crawford's 3rd fight and see how he looked. And boy, do we see that in his 3rd fight with Errol Spence, my God, even you didn't even expect him to look that good. Even you didn't expect it. I didn't either. I mean, the guy he just ran through Errol Spence, brother. And I said to myself, I know. See, what you don't realize is I was at the fight, Jerome. I know what I saw. And you or no other Terrence Crawford fan is going to make me doubt it. I know his performance was enhanced. Now, whether it's legal or illegal, brother, I don't know, and neither do you. But nobody can convince the boxing manager. Nobody can convince me what I see and what I don't see. I know when the fight's performance is enhanced. I know. And see, you never ask me how I know these things. Nobody has yet to ask me, Manager Marty, how you know? But I'm not going to get no freebies up tonight because I've been here for 3.5 hours and I got to eat my dinner. And I thank you for coming by, Mr. Jerome. You've been great, but I got to let you go. Now, we got Band Up. Band Up, you still there, brother? Oh, Band Up left? Band Up! Let me see if Band Up, you still there? He got his phone on mute. Can't do nothing about it. 2 Cents, you still here, 2 Cents?
I'm here.
What's your take on everything? I try to talk to the man, but the man don't want to listen.
I mean, it is what it is. You know how I go.
Yeah, it's just entertainment. Hey, Mr. Greg, it's just, let me show my face to Mr. Greg. It's just entertainment, Mr. Greg. What's your take on all this, Mr. You the Crawford fan. You keep it real, Mr. Greg.
Can we get it? I've been so exhausted with this segment.
You see a screen, Mr. Greg? You see that screen, Mr. Greg? Oh, yes, Mr. Greg. The thing is, the audience, they love when I keep it real. I got to be me, Mr. Greg. Let me put that on your screen one more time. Oh, my God, the snack program. That program works so much. Mr. Greg, you brought some of the products, right, Mr. Greg?
I did. I used the product. I used the product. The product is fine with me. But I'm glad you asked about this. What Tim had said yesterday.
Tim Montgomery?
Yeah. When he said he got the EPO and then he went and had it examined. Then he
got the clear. The clear.
To find out what was in it. What I'm wondering is why, because I don't know how the program is actually going on. But
I do.
I'm wondering why some of the other fighters haven't done the same thing. I'm not saying they're getting EPO or clear, but why some of the other fighters haven't taken some of the products that they're getting. Although Victor said we get the same ones plus other things, but I'm wondering why the fighters don't take the products that they're receiving from a man that they're already catching criticism from and do the same thing that Tim did and have them examined.
Well, it's for the same reasons that I just gave Jerome. They don't care. They don't care about his history. They don't care what he's giving them as long as they can trust Victor Conte Whether it's legal or illegal, we don't know. But I'm just saying they have his trust and he have theirs.
Well, that's
So
good, but I believe in trust but verify.
I agree. But Tim
You know,
Montgomery spoke on that. Remember, he
yeah,
spoke on
right,
that when
right.
he
I'm
said,
saying that's why I'm saying I wish they would have been listening to Tim Montgomery, and that's why I was also asking when you're going to replay it, because just like the Victor Conte interviews that need to be promoted and seen, that interview more so than even Victor Conte in some sense needs to be seen as well. By
And
yeah,
I wanted to say too, Marty, that was an awesome interview with Tim Montgomery. I feel like me and Tim was friends after that. But I wanted to say I can't wait for you to put it back up so I can watch it again. But I was thinking about it and I was wondering, now wasn't the perception about the clear was that it was only used to mask what they were using so it would pass the test, that the clear wasn't the actual steroid? Or am I misunderstanding that?
yes,
right,
THG, there was no code for it through the testing. And because there was no code for it, when it knocks off the imbalance of the testosterone, that's what made the test basically beatable because the clear was undetectable and
But
it
the clear
masked
is a
the steroid.
steroid.
Say it again.
The clear is a steroid.
The clear is the steroid, but it's a masking agent though.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's called THG. It's a long word. I don't know how to pronounce it. It is a steroid, but it's used as a masking agent. So Tim Montgomery broke it all the way down of basically all the stuff that he was using from Victor Conti and different things of that nature. And while the other tests, and while the other and why the other steroids are also undetectable, which I already know the answer, but I'm glad the athlete said it when he brought up, because I asked him individually, what is HGH? What is EPO? What is the benefit of the insulin? What is the benefit of the clear? I asked him all the 4 drugs that he was taking and the other athletes with Victor Conti was taking, and he put it out there. I already knew the answer about HGH and EPO. It's already produced in our bodies naturally, so they don't have a test for it.
And I think
They meaning, go ahead.
it was also telling when he said he could possibly be giving, or he was giving steroids to the athletes, labeling it as something else. And so when I heard that, I felt like that might have kind of vindicated Shane Mosley, because Shane Mosley was saying, well, I don't know. I didn't know it was steroids. And Victor was like, nah, I showed you how to do it. But
No,
that's crazy to me that you would do that. Like that's a little sinister because,
well, I'm sorry.
oh no, go ahead.
No, I was saying what the difference between Sugar Shane and what Tim was saying. Sugar Shane knowingly used EPO. He allowed Victor Conti to inject them, and then he started to allow himself and his strength and conditioning coach Daryl to inject his navel, both sides of his navel, with the EPO. And the reason why I can say definitively that Shane Mosley knew, because originally he said, "Oh, I didn't know it was steroids. I didn't know." But see, he had to go before a grand jury, and he had to go into a deposition while his attorney was present. It's on YouTube right now. And he basically came out and admitted, because you can't lie on the oath to the grand jury. They give you years behind bars for perjury. And he finally admitted that he did know that he was using EPO, the cream, and the clear. The cream was the testosterone
mhm.
that you can rub on you and it goes into your bloodstream. And the clear, of course, that's what you're talking about. Yes. So he's in a deposition on tape, because the depositions are always video filmed. He's admitting under oath that he first he lied and said he didn't know, but then he did come out and say that he did know. He did knowingly use it and get injected. Yes.
And when I seen you with the Shannon Sharp video, I said, uh oh. Because I heard Tim say Victor's been doing this since the late 80s.
Well, I said that. I said that because I've done extensive research on him, so I already know. But what it is Victor Conti, and you've seen the Netflix documentary, and I think Mr. Greg did too, and most of the people
Right.
here live and Live in Color seen it as well. Victor Conti told Netflix, he told all of us through Netflix that he was invited in 1998 to a bodybuilding competition. He was invited there when we already know that bodybuilders are legally allowed to use steroids back in those eras. And so he was there, his words, not mine. He gave comprehensive blood testing to certain bodybuilders and supplements. Now, my point in saying that is that was in 98. But in the Netflix documentary, Victor Conti came out saying that he didn't start dealing with performance enhancing drugs until the year of 2000, which we knew that wasn't true because Tim Montgomery, this is why him and I brought that up, is because the girlfriend, Christy Gaines, who I didn't even know Tim was dating her, but before 2000, he was dating her, another track and field star, and she's the one, his words, not mine. In the last video I put up, the video I put up with Tim Montgomery is on my channel right now. He was dating Christy, and she's the one that introduced him to Victor Conti. This is before 2000. So I'm saying the late 80s because that's when Victor Conti quit the band, Tower of Power band, and that's when he started doing research on zinc and all this stuff, and that's when he got into building his own company, the Balco. And so in that, I brought up what's his name, Shannon Sharp, because what people didn't know was that Super Bowl team that won back-to-back Super Bowls, and I'm talking about the Denver Broncos, Shannon Sharp, Terrell Davis, and them, they all was working with Victor Conti. Yeah.
Did Shannon
Yes,
ever respond to you?
No, he didn't see my super chat because he didn't read none of the super chats that night. But we still waiting on him to answer that question I need to ask him. And the question was, so people might have been new, and I promise I'll let you guys go. Let me see if I still got that picture up here so that people can see the question that I asked him. Oh, there it is right there. Woo, I always save the evidence, Mr. Greg. Bam. That's the question that I asked Shannon Sharp on his show called the Onk and Ocho show. The Onk and Ocho show nightcap the other night. I asked Shannon Sharp this question. I paid the super chat. It's right there on your screen, and I'll read it for those that can't read or look at the screen. And it says, Onk, the 96 Broncos you played for won the Super Bowl. You and other teammates were clients of Victor Conti. Did Bill Romanowski inspire or introduce y'all to Conti's program? We need answers.
I think I said that question was a shot across the YouTube streets, and they shook.
Oh yeah,
I think that's what I said.
You did say that. And if anybody's listening that have any access to the Ocho Cinco and Unk show, the nightcap, or can send him the question. Tell him it's from me. We just need answers. I ain't trying to get no fame out of this. I really don't care about fame. I just want to know the answer to that question. That's a very important question because most people didn't know that Victor Conti worked with them. They didn't put that in the Netflix documentary, just like they didn't put that Sugar Shane Mosley was injected in 2003 by Victor Conti with that EPO and that second Oscar De La Hoya fight that he won. I don't know how they skip over that, but Tim Montgomery was here, and he's the one that shed light on why they skipped over that part and didn't include that because that was Victor Conti's initiation into the sport of boxing. You know what I mean? In 2003. You know what I mean? So we got to deal with the real. I listen, if people think that this channel is full of propaganda and bias, it's their opinion, and I'm okay with it. All we do is provide truth and evidence over here, and we let it fall where it may, Mr. Greg.
Well, it's fallen in place because people coming up and telling you their story. One by one, step by step.
We got to get Marion on here.
Ooh.
Yeah, we got to get Marion on here because see, the thing is, I'm gonna put this out there. Let me sip some of this. I gotta put this out there right now. See, I also revealed in that interview, and hey, Tim Montgomery, he confirmed it. See, the people don't know how much I've been studying this. 15 years. Marion Jones and Trevor Graham, which was her coach, they was getting it. Ooh, I'm about to break the internet with this. Even though YouTube ain't gonna push it out. So what? They was getting the HGH and testosterone from Memo Heredia way before they even met Victor Conti. Mm-hmm.
Does she have a what? Does she have a website or a podcast?
Yeah, she got an Instagram. Yeah, I reached out to her already. I'm 10 steps ahead of the roller tape film crew. Oh, yes. Hey, listen here. We can see if Tim Montgomery could ask us to do us a favor because he has a son by her. They have a son, you know what I mean, together. So we don't know.
Marion Jones?
Oh, yes. Mr. Greg, you missed that in the interview, brother.
See, that's why I said I'm tearing. I'm like, oh, man.
I'm ready to put it out.
I bet they son can fly.
Oh, you better believe it. Because they have natural talent. You know what I mean? And also, Tim Montgomery, he also talked about Memo Heredia. I'm talking about, some people might not know who he is. That's the guy that's been around David Benavidez camp for a couple of years now, who Victor Conti keep telling us, he's cheating. You see, so Victor Conti can come out and say, Memo is cheating. Oh, but if somebody have an insinuation about his fighters, oh, it's a crime, Manager Marty. Come on, y'all. Just be fair to Manager Marty. You know, that's all I asked for. Band Up, are you still there?
I hope Band Up phone ain't messing up again. Come on, Band Up.
Band Up, I got 2 phones. I got the Pro Max 15, and this is the 13 or the 14. I can send you one of these phones. The Boost Mobile ain't going to work for you no more, Band Up. You just got to get rid of the service. It ain't working out there in the mountains, brother.
Have you put together that funny compilation yet?
No, I got to put it together. I'm so busy. It's tax season. I got you, though, Mr. Greg. I didn't forget.
No, I don't. Take care of that business first.
Hey, let me ask y'all a question real quick because I don't want to keep chopping up everything. It sounds like y'all enthusiastic about this. Should I just put the whole interview out for y'all?
Yep. Put it out
there. What you think, 2 cents?
I think you should chop it up first and then put the whole interview out. That way, you know, you get a little bit more views.
All right, I'll put one more piece out there. I got to figure out which piece. I'll put one more little piece out, and then probably this weekend or something, or early next week. I got to put it out. And
I think that's like Vlad TV. I think that is like they'll put out, you know, pieces of the interview, then they put out the whole interview.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing too. So I probably put another piece or 2 out, and then go ahead and put the 4, because the 4 interview was Mr. Greg. I'm telling you, 2 cents was here.
No, I know she was here. When I was here, she was here. Because I said to her that was her lane, because I know she ran track.
That interview was fire.
I was mad that I had to leave. I said, this is going to be something. It was getting, just when it was getting good. But that's okay. As long as you're going to put it out, we'll see it. Maybe you might want to put 2 clips out. I'm being greedy.
Yeah, I probably did 2. Yeah, I probably. Yeah, I'm gonna put some probably a clip or 2 out. Then I'm gonna let the whole interview fly because it was a really, really good interview. I mean, and I'm not talking about because I was in it or because I asked questions. I get it. It was because of Tim Montgomery. He was very open. Man, he was very transparent.
I mean, he started off that way.
Yeah, he came out. Look, I didn't even get a chance to ask him a question. He came right out, didn't he, Mr. Greg?
Yeah.
He came right out swinging. And
that told me right then when he came out, like he ready to put it all on the table. And so,
hey, Uptown. I like Shannon Sharp too, Uptown. I just want to ask him a question about something. That's still my guy. I like Shannon Sharp, man. Yeah, I like him. Big Supreme, what's up? I'm looking at the comments right now.
Yeah.
Matt, my man Matt, I love Matt Perez. Matt be on point in the comment section in the videos that I publish. Matt be on point. He said he ain't answering that. He might just answer it, Matt. We don't know. I mean, I would love for Shannon Sharp to answer that one. That was a good question. They both were Uptown. Uptown asked me who was dealing in testosterone first. Well, it was Memo first. I can't tell y'all everything yet because I got so much information I want to put out. It was Memo. See, what it was is Memo's father. He owned that veterinarian out there in Mexico. You see, so they was using some of that to the athletes, but that testosterone. But see, Tim Montgomery gave us some jewels about that testosterone and how somebody else popped dirty from it. Man, I'm about to put that. I got to put that. I'm gonna chop that thing up and put it out. Y'all gonna be like, ooh, yeah. I'm gonna put that thing out.
That might could be a Netflix special.
Oh man, you know what Netflix gonna have to do first. You know they're gonna have to cut me one. You know they're gonna have to cut me a check. Double salute to my guy, Lifeline Music. I apologize for being a half an hour late for your super chat. I didn't know. Jerome came up here trying to act like he didn't know what was going on, but I had to educate the brother first. So double salute to Lifeline Music TV. Thank you for your contribution and support to the channel. Lifeline Music says, do this guy know another word besides propaganda? Dag, I wish he could have got that question. Jerome, I know you still listening. Answer the question from my man, Lifeline Music. Do you know any other words besides propaganda? And when you come back, Jerome, come on back and give us your answer. I hope it is a yes. I believe it is a yes. And all right, Mr. Greg, band up. He's done. I don't know what's going on with him.
He's gone. Do we have a fight coming up this weekend? I don't think so, but it's next month.
I think the Super Bowl, so they're gonna wait. The Super Bowl is supposed to be this weekend, right?
Right. See, I don't watch football, so I won't miss that.
It's either this weekend or next weekend. No, it's next weekend. They just played. It's next weekend. So I think we got a fight coming up a weekend after the Super Bowl. Don't quote me on that, but I think so.
It's okay. We'll see them whenever they come.
Oh yeah, Mr. Greg, I'm gonna let you close the show out. Listen, y'all, come on back tomorrow, live and live in color. You know we do this for educational purpose and entertainment, and I hope y'all learned something. If you didn't, at least I hope you were entertained. Because you know I do this for entertainment, but I do it because I want people to learn. I want y'all to learn. My heart is in this thing here. But listen, I appreciate everybody for coming out, investing your time. Those that gave and contributed to the channel, thank you for your unwavering support and your resources. I'm gonna come back tomorrow. 4:45 p.m. We'll be here live in living color. I'm going after Mr. Greg speak and close us out. I'm just going to throw the intro on and we out. Mr. Greg, 30 seconds on you. Close it out, my brother, and salute to you and thank you for coming up, Mr. Greg.
Exactly. Roll the tape, family. Make sure y'all watch that Tim Montgomery interview in all the clips. Make sure any athletes that you know that's going professional, any young people who are trying to make some decisions about how to conduct themselves, they'll get something from that interview. I'm glad I got a chance to see some of it. I'm going to see the rest of it. It's always good to see you all on here, especially when you're going through some things. You got people. It's always good to be able to come over and say hello to you all. Y'all see that interview, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care and good night.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty.
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you.